The best and worst deaths in films, Labyrinth Alive and Lord of the Rings Reimagined, plus YouTube finally sticks it to AI slop channels.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call! Bueller?
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller?
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimblett to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates, and welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
And I am Tyler.
And I'm Joseph.
All right, we have a great show for you today. Welcome everyone on YouTube Live and otherwise, and of course, all the OG classmates that are still just listening in audio podcast only land. What's up, fellas? How's it going?
It's going great.
Great.
I mean, asterisk, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Great with an asterisk.
Asterisk.
Is the wind?
Yeah.
Was it the wind?
The
wind is getting to you.
Why not
I
just
mean,
great?
Well, you know, I mean, like the ominous weather that we're having, and I know we're not a meteorological podcast, which I think
you still talk about it every time.
I know. You know what? And I think we don't talk about the weather enough. I think we should just actually start a weather podcast. Is there any
You can go
weather
ahead. There's nothing
podcast?
stopping you.
Is there any weather
Yeah, it's
podcast?
called the news.
Yeah, there's a whole channel dedicated to it.
Yeah. Mark Finan.
Oh,
You
yeah.
ever heard of him?
Well, yeah, he's
Local legend.
Yeah, he's retired though, so
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, local.
Well, I had a
legend for
bagel
sure.
this morning.
Oh, congratulations.
An everything bagel.
And nice. Yeah, can't go
Yeah.
wrong with an everything bagel. Yeah,
Yeah. I like that. I had like with the seeds on it. I feel like a little bird.
I had a. I ate a half a pint of ice cream for breakfast this morning.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean, nothing's saying you can't, but God damn, that life looks good. I know, what a life you live. The life you live.
it's chaotic.
Wait, why did you have? Did you? Why you had ice cream? What? In the freezer.
I was gonna say that's also.
It was in the freezer, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, no.
Why do you have ice cream?
I wasn't
and
like Jared Leto and like drank it to star in a movie that failed.
Why did you have ice cream and no other food in your house? Last week you were saying you just had a bag of shredded cheese in your fridge and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Voss.
Yeah.
I would like you to take a picture of the inside of your fridge on a Friday night or Saturday morning, and then send it to us, and then we'll review it on the
We'll
podcast.
post it on the Patreon.
I like that idea, and I will commit to that.
Okay.
Next Saturday,
I'll
I
share
will,
Oh, that you'll commit to. Okay.
that I'll commit to. Yeah.
I'll share the inside of my fridge if you share the inside of your fridge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not about me. How are you, Pete? How are you, Pete?
I'm good. I got my hairs cut this morning. The sides.
I thought you were growing it out.
Just the sides. I am. I'm not toasting the top. But I can't have the wispies on the side. It just
Why?
irritates
Why?
me. I don't like it.
It's irritating. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my hair cut a couple weeks ago too.
I gotta get it.
I got my haircut too. You couldn't tell.
You cut your hair.
You couldn't tell.
No, Gavin Newsom did.
No, Gavin Newsom did. No.
He's too busy doing his podcast.
After. Oh god.
We have competition now.
I know. It's like him and Bruce Springsteen and Obama are our main competition.
Before before my sister got hitched, the hairstylist that my family goes and sees, he was obviously invited to the wedding and did everyone's hair and shit.
Your so can I get this straight? Your whole family sees the same hairstylist.
Correct.
And it's Gavin Newsom?
What a life you live.
It's not Gavin Newsom, but yeah.
Oh, for some reason I was imagining Gavin Newsom was the stylist.
No, Gavin Newsom.
I
It's
would
the
love
same
that.
person that cuts Gavin Newsom's hair.
He moonlights
No,
as a
I
barber.
don't think they do that anymore. But
at one point,
at one
I've
point.
never cut Gavin Newsom's hair.
I mean,
The person that cut my hair this morning, Mercedes, she just never cut Gavin Newsom's hair.
well,
I know of.
for everyone who doesn't know, yeah, I had,
You go to
like,
sports clips, huh?
I had a beaver tail in the back of my head, and I just cut it up and trimmed up all of the dead ends.
When he says beaver tail, it was more of a thicket. It's like a beaver dam.
That's why you've been gnawing on that.
Well,
word.
it was accidental. Okay, all right, fine. It was accidental dreadlocks.
Yeah, there you go.
Accidental dreadlocks. Not appropriation. It was accidental. I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
It looks better.
Yes.
It looks better.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I remember when you used to cut your hair short and you look like a suave son of a bitch. You come in with his designer glasses. And
now you just look like a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
No, wow.
Drop the suave part.
Okay. I mean, I'm not. Yeah.
Swarthy is the S word I would use to describe it now.
Swashbuckler.
Yeah. So this episode is going to be a slightly different episode than normal because we don't have a movie of the week next week, starting in April, we're starting the new format of the show, which is one subject for each month of the year.
Yes.
So we're going to be reappropriating the usage of the wheel, and instead of having a movie of the week, we're going to be spinning for the subject.
Right.
So it's kind of exciting. So for this first half of the...
It is.
Yeah. First half of the live stream is going to be just Gavin Chatter, some news discussions. Joseph has a fun event he went to. He's going to talk about. We got some news things. And then we're going to take a short break, and we'll come back with streaming picks in the second half, and then talk about what the next subject is going to be. So it's basically, we're going to talk about the reveal, what the actual format of the show, and it might evolve as that happens, but we'll talk about...
we might revert back.
Who knows? Yeah, we might not commit.
Depending on how the people enjoy it.
How you guys like it, how we like it.
Do our numbers go down? They go up?
Yeah.
Are you more interested? Less interested?
Yeah. Do you hate it? Do you love it?
I don't know. I mean, we'll try it out.
Yeah, we're gonna give it a shot. And but yeah, so at the end of this episode, we'll pick the first subject, which is gonna be the entire month of April. What kind of movies we're gonna be watching? So, all that being said, let's get into some proper Gavin chatter.
Find some charity in you, lad. Now's the time for Gavin chatter.
Gavin chatter, movie news of the week. Tyler, lead us off with a discussion.
Okay, well, breaking news, Richard Chamberlain has passed. He's no longer with us.
Who's that?
He's an actor.
Oh.
Did you know who he was?
I recognize the name, but I went through his IMDb, and he's done a lot of TV work.
See the voice of Alfred in the Batman the Animated Series? Oh, that guy died
no, not
recently.
Yeah, that guy. He's no longer with us as well. But yeah, Richard Chamberlain. He was in the Towering Inferno. Probably more famously.
Is he a British actor?
I don't know. He was in the
Never seen this person before in my life.
He was in the Three Musketeers.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I just
breaking news.
I mean, it literally. like the account for.
Sounds like Ben Affleck right here.
Wow, he really does look like Ben Affleck. That's him?
Richard Chamberlain. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
90 years old.
They had color pictures back then.
Makes you think.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I thought you had a discussion.
I do. I just wanted to mention that briefly.
Just wanted to give that guy some
some
honor. The guy I've never heard of before.
Because I follow the Elvira account on Instagram, and she posted that her dear friend Richard Chamberlain died, and I recognized the name. I was like, oh, Richard Chamberlain.
Is it because of Wilt Chamberlain?
I don't even know who that is. But I wanted to talk about, though, everyone knows that I love satisfying deaths in movies. Realistic deaths.
I know that you love when children die in movies.
I do.
For some weird reason.
I love it when I peaked when I saw Mother. So
okay.
If you can infer what I'm referring to. But
Mother.
Aronofsky's mother.
Oh.
Yeah.
That mother.
Yeah. Yeah, you know that scene. So
go on.
I wanted to ask.
Consummate pro.
I wanted to ask you guys this. I don't think I think we probably discussed this on the show before, but not formally. I wanted to ask you guys, and you don't have to make a list or anything. Like, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but what is the most satisfying death in a film that you can see off the top of your head? Not just like think like.
Sorry, I'm already looking it up.
Oh God! Yeah, he has a computer in front of his face. Off the top of your head, what's the most satisfying death? And then conversely, what's the most dissatisfying death that you have seen in a movie? Just off the top of your head, just like right off the bat.
Okay, some parameters here though.
Parameters,
like dissatisfying in the sense like
you were upset they died.
It could be that,
or
I mean, there's
that's why I'm asking.
There's no parameters. It's just like when you
was it like a bad acted death?
Yeah, it could be
or
was
it
either or?
No, like, I need some specifics.
Okay, all right, fine.
The way I'm interpreting it is like
dissatisfying. Okay,
the first death you cheered for, and the other one you're like, no, not him.
No, that's not how I interpret it.
No, that's how
I interpret it is like the Jamie Lannister and
it's satisfying.
No, that wasn't satisfying.
Who's Jamie?
Jamie Lannister from Game of Thrones.
As a little kid.
No. The brother and the sister in the last season, they just get crushed to
you know
death.
What? You know what? Maybe I was a little bit short-sighted on this discussion context. So let me put some. Let me put.
Give us an example.
Okay. All right. Well, so
show us how it's done.
So thank you. Okay. So what first comes to mind is Boromir from Lord of the Rings.
Is that a satisfying or dissatisfying?
Satisfying.
You liked when Boromir died?
Well, I mean, it was well acted. Like,
see, that's what I'm confused. Satisfying is like, yeah, fuck you, you should die.
You know what?
So that's impactful.
Impactful. Yeah, satisfying. Like it was a death that
I wasn't satisfied at all about that. I was very sad.
But it was good. So
that's different. That's different.
Well acted.
Okay. So, I thought about Boromir. I thought about just right off the bat, Leonardo DiCaprio's character getting shot in the noggin. That was good.
What movie?
The Departed, of course.
Okay. Of course.
I mean, I
a lot of
don't
movies.
know. I'm being a little.
So that was also impactful. For you?
Satisfying or dissatisfying?
Satisfying. Dissatisfying. I would have to go with the lawyer in Jurassic Park where he gets eaten by the T-Rex.
But why is that?
That was not satisfying.
Why wasn't that satisfying?
I just needed a little shoehorned in. Like it was we needed something shocking in the movie, and I was
live in your brain for like 1 hour and figure out why.
Are you saying it wasn't like harsh enough?
No, it wasn't necessary. Like it was like what?
He's a shithead.
Would you rather he lived?
I mean, no. I'm just saying it just wasn't necessary.
Tyler was upset because he couldn't lick his boots anymore after he died.
That's not true at all.
He died in the toilet.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, imagine dying on a toilet like that. Like you're sitting there, and
but that's
you're trying to make your sand, and
but
then
he's not.
He's not. He's just hiding. But that fits for his character because his character was a piece of shit.
Enough to get eaten by a freaking animal.
Yes, innocent people are getting eaten by an animal. Why not him?
I don't think so.
If anybody in that vicinity was to deserve death, it was him in that manner.
He deserves death for being a lawyer.
Yes.
Like I don't know.
Well, interesting choices. I respect them.
I'm still confused.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's nothing. I guess it's more of like kind of like a vibe sort of situation. Like, what do you think is a good death?
Cleverly laid out parameters of this segment.
I know.
Let's go by vibe.
I know that
How about you, Joseph?
I didn't think about this clearly.
Well,
because think about a death that you thought was great, and then think about a death where you're like, oh, really?
Okay, but I still
whatever you want, Joseph. Don't worry about it. Don't get caught up in the the bureaucracy of it.
But like, there's like Boromir's death, which is
great.
It's great. It's acted well, and for the story, it works really well. But I'm not satisfied that he died.
I'd argue that Gandalf is even more impactful. I couldn't fucking believe it at the beginning of the end at Lord of the Rings, end of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
like I haven't read the books.
I definitely was not satisfied in any way when Boromir died.
I mean that
satisfied like the guy who's trying to keep the beach open in Jaws. Like
the mayor.
Like if he got eaten by a shark, does he get eaten by a shark? No. If he got eaten by a shark, I
don't think
I would have been cheering for that. Like a satisfying death is like to me.
That's what I think of a satisfying death.
To me, like the terrorist in True Lies when he's hanging off with his belt up a helicopter.
Yeah.
And he gets missiled to death. Like that's satisfying.
Yeah.
The Jurassic Park bathroom guy. The death in Jurassic Park 2 where the guy gets like tossed up by the two T-Rexes and then ripped in half. Samuel L. Jackson in Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah.
Is a great death. Because it's so over the top and unexpected.
It's a memorable death, that's for sure.
Memorable, yeah.
But if you're talking about like bad deaths, I mean, Marion Cotillard, Dark Knight Rises is a really bad death. It's a bad acted death.
Okay.
But it's
there you go.
The death itself within the story works. It's just it was executed poorly.
Bad setup, bad acting.
And but I could read it as like, that character didn't deserve to die.
Just like the lawyer in Jurassic Park.
No. He was working for the man.
It fits within that story because he's a bad dude.
He's played as
You're applying real life morality to this dinosaur movie.
Correct.
Which is not a good way to broach the subject that you're bringing up.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Plus, he's a lawyer, which is a cab adjacent, I think.
defense lawyer. So.
Dissatisfying deaths. I don't know. I mean, it's not a movie, but again, Jaime Lannister and Cersei Lannister dying at the end of Game of Thrones.
That was the very dissatisfying.
It was very anticlimactic.
Yeah.
It was just like they get crushed by rocks.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like that.
Oh, those ones.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But that's a TV show, so so it doesn't count.
Yeah, it kind of does, but Pete.
But I can't really think of any dissatisfying deaths. I need some.
I have two very dissatisfying. Number one, Brad Pitt in Burn After Reading. Very shocking out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah,
and you're like, no, I love that guy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Come on.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And also Billy Bibbit, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, played by Brad Dourif.
Oh.
Yeah, so fuck. That one's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Absolutely heartbreaking in that. He's such a sweet character, and he's just troubled and, heart. Yeah.
Bubba Gump.
Bubba.
Green Mile.
Oh.
Kofi.
I'd say Coffee. Yeah, John Coffey, and also Edward de la Tour.
The mouse.
Mr. Jangles.
Even though he comes back.
Yeah.
But then,
Mr. Jangles' death was terrible.
Hachi.
Terrible.
Marley.
Satisfying deaths. The Nazis at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yes.
Great.
Hitler.
a great
Inglourious Bastards.
That's a good one. That's a good pull.
And although he doesn't die, the Jew hunter that in Inglourious Bastards also.
yes.
Hans Landa.
Hans Lander, yeah. Very satisfying end to his character.
You're right.
Inversely, or on the same movie, Michael Fassbender's character.
Yeah,
In the
that's
basement
that's a
scene.
shame. Which once you realize there's no getting out of there, you're like,
No.
he's so good. I don't want Fassbender dying anything. I want David to win in Alien Prometheus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Other satisfying deaths. I don't know. There's a lot of them.
Unsatisfying.
Predator.
The
Yeah.
Predator.
Arnold finally kills Predator
yeah.
when he blows himself up or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You're just
That's
like,
it.
he won.
Yeah.
He did it.
That is like a finale right there.
And also, I'd say both good and bad on both hands is Alien Resurrection, when the human baby hybrid gets sucked out of the hole.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, it's a fucking terrible, kill it. And then once you see it crying for its mom, you're like, okay, maybe I was
Maybe it was a
too
little
harsh.
too.
Will Smith's dog in I Am Legend.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Vincent Vega was a good one.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah,
It was a little too quick for me.
That's what I like. I mean, I guess like for myself, like when it comes to movie deaths, I like the quickness of it. Like Burn After Reading, when Brad Pitt gets shot and killed, that was surprising, but also dissatisfying. Like I didn't even think about that.
I was
one.
bummed that he just wasn't going to be in the movie anymore.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Same here. Because like his character is so charismatic, and I wanted to see more of him. And then he's just like, "Hey, listen."
He doesn't even say that. He just smiles.
Oh, I thought he said, "Hey, listen."
George Clooney kills him because he just panics.
Yeah, he panics.
I like how he just smiling,
He's like,
grinning.
hey,
ear to ear.
he caught me. And then he gets blasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
There's a lot of great scenes in that movie.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. I mean, John Malkovich is just incredible in that movie. I need to rewatch it again. I haven't watched it in a while.
Oswald Cox. Yes, dickhead, it's me.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
We have
The
your shit.
he needs his glasses.
My girl. My girl. Yeah.
That was a joke, but Macaulay Culkin dying in The Good Son.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
is
satisfying.
That is
That's
satisfying.
Fuck
Very
that
good.
kid.
Fuck that kid. No, wait, hold on. Wait, hold on.
Well,
Yeah.
too bad. You already said it.
But that was, I mean, watching that as a younger person, I was like, oh my god, This woman's dangling 2 children off the cliff.
I watched it kind of recently, and I was like, the question is real. Like, the feeling is real. She's like, her birth son,
Yeah.
who clearly is a sociopath,
And
then her nephew or whatever, nephew by marriage,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, and who is just a sweet Elijah Wood, you know.
Yeah. I don't think the general audience really like understood the implications of like that decision in the movie.
You don't? Why not?
No, I said the general audience. I'm not.
I know,
I'm
I know,
not general.
but
I'm
audience.
not general.
Why don't you think the general? I think that's a really very simple concept. to
Well, I
grasp.
mean, like, have you guys ever,
dangled 2 children up a cliff.
one whom you're rated to by blood, one not.
No, I'm just thinking, like,
You've never been in that scenario?
well, I mean, like in our older age, like like we're encountering mothers, and so
Who have also dangled children off the sides of cliffs. I can't relate. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, like when I
Hey, what's up, Kevin?
when I
Kevin's in the chat. He says death by bees every day.
yeah.
He's been there many times.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yes.
I'm just saying, like
Why wouldn't they get that though? Why don't you-
we're maturing adults as of now. We're in the twilight of our prime.
Speak for yourself.
We're in the twilight of our
I'm
prime.
hopped up on boner pills right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm still in my prime.
Are you on Hims? Is that what they call it?
No, I get
Hims?
that ground up rhino paste from the gas station.
Oh, that's
That's what that powder was.
that's not good for
downstairs.
your heart, Pete.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just thinking about that specific scene. That you think about mothers now, like you got me all off kilter here, and all I'm saying is that like we know mothers now, like because like we're in the twilight of our prime.
Okay,
and so
yeah.
like we know mothers of our age, and so I can kind of get into the mentality of a mother dangling to. Okay, fine.
I could get in that mindset.
To it. That's it.
It's impactful. Like it like I don't think people really understand the emotional impact that it would be to sacrifice your child that is a potential serial killer, but you birthed that person. I don't know.
I don't think people back then knew it. I don't think they knew it.
I don't think they
They
did.
couldn't figure it out.
I don't think they did either. I don't.
Didn't get it back then. Now we're smart.
I also am just discovering mothers, says Kevin.
That's all I have.
Okay, cool. Joseph,
Great.
what do you got?
Great stuff.
Mothers, am I right?
Yeah.
You mothers. So I have a couple things. First thing, I went to a screening of the movie Labyrinth, which we reviewed before, but it was a special type of screening. It was a live band playing the score. They did not resurrect David Bowie for this.
I forgot he's not with us anymore.
They just played the instrumentation of the songs, and it's a musical, so there's quite a bit of music in it. And it was a packed house from the get-go. There's people dressed up,
Cool.
dressed as the Worm, just as
Yeah, just wham.
obviously as Jareth, obviously as Jennifer Connelly, Sarah,
Yeah.
and
Turn back, Sarah, before it's too late.
there was some missed opportunities though to dress up as like the guys who take their heads off.
Yeah.
The
Fire
fire
strikes.
gang, and also Hoggle, the guy with the bird on his head.
Yeah.
Door knockers.
You be quiet.
And then the beginning of I was a little annoyed. In the beginning of
I was annoyed.
before they started playing the
At
movie,
this auspicious occasion, I was annoyed.
they had like a costume contest, like an impromptu sort of thing. So they had a bunch of people come up, and there was like multiple Jareths and multiple Sarahs, and each in varying degrees of like commitment.
Sure.
You know, like people who are more committed in their outfits. There was actually someone who came in later after the contest who was like totally dressed out as Sarah in the in the ballroom scene.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And she sat right in front of us, but she wasn't there for the costume. I was like, she would have easily have won.
That makes her cooler.
And this is like a general note to the world out there. Okay. If you're participating in a costume contest, and also people who judge costume contests, in this case, it was just the audience. If you're just gonna put on a onesie and just call it done, you should not be allowed to participate.
Are you talking about like the printed spandex?
No, just it was a onesie. It was
like a pajama onesie,
with like the hood.
What was
It was a Ludo onesie.
I was gonna say it's probably Ludo, yeah.
And that person won.
Oh, you got to be kidding me!
No way.
That's so janky.
Yeah, it was horse shit. So that pissed me off right off the get go.
Already sullied the event.
Right out of the gate.
Joseph, switched to you.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Right out of the gate.
But aside from that, the event itself was really cool. We had these musicians.
Where was it at?
It was at the Crest Theater.
Oh, nice.
And there was 6 musicians. There was 3 keyboards, people on keyboards. We had 1 drummer, 1 bass, and 1 guitar. So kind of a simple setup. And I took some video and I put it up here on the on the old thing here. I have to readjust this real quick.
Wow, that sounds great.
Oh my god. It's also rotated.
Yeah. Good luck in order to rotate that.
Oh, why can't I rotate this? Anyway, you can look at it sideways. But yeah, so we have this band here.
How do they do the audio only for the music and like leave his vocal tracks in?
I don't know. I was wondering that. Like, do they have a copy of the movie that just is without that track?
It's like vocals only.
Yeah,
it's isolated. That was cool. And then there was this guy who had a saxophone.
Oh hell yeah!
And he was having a good time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he only came out and did like a performance like that a couple times. But they did like a little freestyle during the credits.
That's cool. Do they have a contact juggler with crystal balls there?
No, unfortunately.
Pass.
Yeah. But it was cool. It was a fun event. It was a fun way to watch it. A new fun way to watch it. And so I was like thinking about when you went to Birdman where they had the actual composer.
Yeah.
And like thinking about like the type of score that was because it was just percussions.
Yeah, it was literally just one drum set.
It was just one dude.
Yeah.
And it was being at the actual guy, obviously he had a lot more things to talk about.
Yeah.
In terms of like the historical.
He gave a nice preamble and probably talked for about 15, 20 minutes at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then we're right into it. And it was the best.
I mean,
that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds a lot of. I mean, the best live score movie that I ever saw was Nosferatu at the Red Museum. Incredible.
Yeah, I saw the Fellowship of the Ring in concert, and they had like a full orchestra and choir and
That's
shit.
phenomenal.
And that was amazing.
Tyler, is that the only movie you've ever seen with a live band?
Yes.
The best and only.
The best and only.
There you go. I just want to make that distinction.
Yes.
Well, that's cool.
But yeah, so Labyrinth in concert was cool. They're touring. I've been seeing, actually coincidentally, like the next day on TikTok, I was like, oh, now they're in LA.
Did it rekindle your love for your wife?
Oh, yeah. I proposed to her again.
Oh, okay. I knew it.
I didn't know that there was animus.
No, you don't have to. You got to recommit yourself every day, Tyler.
You do?
That's how you keep the spark alive.
Yeah, that's
why.
why.
We read our vows to each other every morning.
Yeah, I kiss Brianna on the top of the head when I leave for work, and I say, if we were married, I'd give you my vows.
Yeah.
But we're not, so fuck off. I'm going to work. Say my vows every morning before work.
That's why I live alone in a 3-bedroom house.
Oh, that's why. Okay, and then my little discussion topic that I'm going to give my little backstory.
Okay.
So this haul sort of started this morning. The idea for this discussion of the Lord of the Rings recast this morning, because I had a dream last night.
Oh, okay.
I had a dream last night in which I was making an adaptation of a new adaptation of Lord of the Rings. And I had a printed sheet of the cast. I don't know who was on it. I just had a sheet of people's faces and the names.
Yeah, you were tasked to readapt.
And so I had a producer, and and he was black in my dream.
Okay.
And so I hand him the cast, the paper with the cast on it, and he looks at it, and he looks at me, and he goes, "A lot of white people on this."
Okay.
And so I'm like,
Good point.
I mean, yeah. And then I just in the dream, I just started like naming off like black actors.
Okay. You're like, I swear, it wasn't my pick.
And then I woke up, and then I was like, if I was to The Wiz, The Lord of the Rings,
Okay.
with an all black cast,
Okay.
With an all black cast.
who would I cast? And I already know two of the roles. I already know Aragorn and Elrond / Legolas.
Okay.
Okay.
I have Idris Elba as Aragorn
Aragorn. Okay.
and Mahershala Ali as either Elrond or Legolas.
I could see him as Elrond. I don't think he's young and twinky enough for Legolas. I'm gonna go with what is the guy's name from?
I have Kevin Hart as all the hobbits.
The Black.
It's so funny because I can see that happening.
I'm gonna go with Dwayne Perkins. He's from The Blackening, and he is also in what was that movie with Ricky Stenicki? Is that the guy's name?
Say Dave Chappelle as Sauron? Yes, yes.
No, Jermaine Fowler. That's a friend.
All right, so who would you guys cast for the rest of the characters?
I'm gonna say Jermaine Fowler as what's his name? Legolas.
Legolas.
He's small and kind of smooth. I'm gonna go Cuba Gooding Jr. as Gimli.
I was thinking Sam Richardson from I Think You Should Leave.
For who?
Tim Robinson as Gimli.
No.
Yeah, he's got the energy.
No, he's too like sweet. Gimli's kind of a dickhead. Like he's gruff. He's rough around the edges. And have you seen Cuba Gooding Jr. talking about how he's going to use his money to build a new Atlantis?
Oh yeah.
I would put Michael B. Jordan as Aragorn.
No.
Why?
I see him as like a villain.
Instantly, no.
Okay. Well, all right.
Forrest Whitaker is Sauron.
Forrest Whitaker. Yes, that's a.
You don't even see his face.
Sauron? No, it's not. Sorry, Saruman.
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 Saruman as
Morgan Freeman as Gandalf.
Morgan Freeman.
Fucking
As,
A. Yes. I didn't think about him.
who was I gonna say? Who was gonna be like
Coleman Domingo as Mark Cuban's character. No, as
Yeah, who else do we have? Well, we could be
Eowyn's brother or cousin. What's his name?
Oh, the guy who hugs him. He hugs Aragorn at one point.
The guy who plays Dredd.
Oh, Carl Urban.
Carl
That's,
Urban.
Faramir.
That's not Faramir.
Boromir. Boromir, Faramir, they're brothers. And then
I think
it's,
Dwayne the Rock Johnson could be Gimli.
He's not black.
He's
Oh,
not
he
black.
isn't?
No.
Oh, Michael B. Jordan as either Boromir,
Okay.
or Faramir.
Okay, I can see that too. Who's
Let's have a.
Lakeith Stanfield.
who's the main actress in The Bear?
Ayo Edebiribi.
Io Edebiri.
Yeah, she could be Arwen.
Who's that?
Arwen.
Arwen.
No.
Yeah. Jesus Christ! Well, I mean, you asking us for our opinions, you're just like, no, wrong.
No.
You're entitled.
I'm
to,
making the movie, okay?
You're entitled
He's the
to.
producer.
You're
No,
entitled.
I'm the
to-
director.
You're,
I'm casting it.
Yeah, you're entitled to.
Tessa Thompson as Arwen.
Tessa Thompson. Okay.
Okay. Not bad.
That's not bad.
Ayo
Edebiri.
Edebiri
Yeah.
as Aowen.
Aowen, okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I can see that. I can see that too.
Kevin says wrong. Get it right.
Wait, who is that in reference to? It's probably me.
Yeah. Can we have Donald
King of Rohan.
Can we have Donald Glover as Tom Bombadil? We actually put him in this version.
No, we don't need Tom Bombadil.
Yes,
in
we
this.
do.
No,
Yes, we do.
And Chris
we
Tucker
do.
is just as Ruby Rod.
Yes. Des Tucker's Ruby Rod.
Chris Rock as the mouth of Sauron.
Oh fuck. And just being exactly Chris Rock.
Forrest Whitaker. Oh, we already did.
Yeah, he's gonna
Sauron.
He's Sauron. Yeah.
We need someone for the King of Rohan and for Wormtongue.
Oh, okay. So Grima Wormtongue.
Lakeith Stanfield as Wormtongue.
King of Rohan. Let's do.
Coleman Domingo.
I mean, you know,
Delroy Lindo.
Yes, I think Delroy Lindo could be great because, you know who would be good? Keith David.
Oh yeah,
Keith David would be really good.
Isn't he dead?
No, Keith David.
I'm pretty sure he died.
He's not with us anymore.
Keith David. No, he's 68.
Oh, okay.
Still with us.
Who died?
Who died?
Oh, Richard Chamberlain. That's right.
Oh, of course, I was getting them two mixed up.
Ooh, I think a good Aragorn would be Mahershala Ali.
We already call him the elf, though. Elrond. Or Elrond?
I like how that's the first time Tyler's ever said that name.
Yeah, it was.
He's like,
Mahershala
he's
Ali.
like, we'll go to my notes for famous black actors.
Yeah.
Keep
I
in my
keep a
back
list.
pocket. It's in my wallet.
I separate them from the white actors.
I mean, I don't know. I don't. You know my poor memory.
Okay, what's Hugo Weaving's character's name?
Elrond.
Elrond.
Elrond, yeah.
Can we do Eddie Murphy?
Eddie Murphy is Elrond?
Yeah. No, that's young Eddie Murphy. He doesn't do that anymore.
Oh, he does.
That's disrespectful to say, by the way.
Oh, it was. Really? That's how he laughs in Beverly Hills Cop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's exactly how he laughs.
We gotta find a spot for Martin Lawrence too. But no
Martin Lawrence.
But no,
Martin.
but no Will Smith.
No Will Smith?
No Will Smith. No.
Will Smith could be oh, I know who. I think Tracy Morgan should play that orc in Return of the King that
Oh, fuck.
steps
Oh, yeah.
aside from the rock.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Also, we need to find a spot for John Boyega. I love him.
John Boyega.
What could he be?
John Boyega. John Boyega. The wood elf guy who comes in Two Towers and dies on the wall.
The one who's I was gonna say the one with the like strong straight blonde hair. That one elf.
The one that's they
like hug. He brings in all the other reinforcements.
Yeah.
Actually, I think
okay
the main Uruk-hai orc in the first movie, Marcus Brooks.
Who's Marcus Brooks?
He plays the pastry chef in the TV series The Bear.
Oh,
You don't have to say the TV series The Bear. We know it's the TV series.
Well, I'm just for context.
You've already mentioned the TV series The Bear before.
If
so
you said
we
the
have
bear,
the context.
I would be confused. Are you talking about a grizzly bear?
No,
He plays a pastry chef and a grizzly bear?
What kind of bear is it?
Polar. Oh, from Grizzly Man. That's what you're talking about, right?
I think you mean the black bear because it's a black cast.
No, Black Bear. That's a
that's right.
that's a movie with what's her name?
Oh, Aubrey Plaza.
Aubrey Plaza. Yeah. Black Bear.
Yeah, Marcus Brooks. I think he would be
Don Cheadle.
Oh yeah, Don Cheadle would be a good Elrond.
No, he's out.
He's out.
He's out. Yeah.
Terrence Howard is in.
Oh, we know Angry Otter. Oh, so Kevin wants to know who's playing Radagast the Brown.
Lupita Nyong'o should be Galadriel.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Angry Otter mentioned her.
Yeah. I think that we haven't really cast a whole lot of
Radagast isn't in the movies.
Well, yeah. There's only
Well, where does Denzel Washington fit in all this then?
he's gone too. Denzel Washington's son
gone?
is in.
Okay. All right.
Okay. How about this? How about Denzel Washington plays Bilbo, and John David Washington plays Frodo?
Oh, genius.
Fuck yeah.
This is such
He's
a
in the
ridiculous,
Radagast is in the Hobbit,
This is such a
the
ridiculous
Hobbit series.
a ridiculous cast.
No, it's not.
Why is it ridiculous?
Why, is
Is
it
it because they're
a
black?
different color?
No, it's,
Oh, okay.
it's so many different actors that
So many different actors. That's every movie.
There's so many different actors in this movie. I can't keep track.
I
No,
can't
it's-
believe it. You see the cast list?
I
It's like
just
a mile long.
I think they should all be played by Eddie Murphy.
you
Oh,
know
no,
what?
That's an idea. He could play all the hobbits
I mean, like,
or all the
honestly,
orcs.
Where's Ice Cube fit in this?
Yeah, where does Ice Cube's son?
I
fit
thought
in
about
this?
I thought about Cube. But
O'Shea.
O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yeah,
I don't know. I can't think of
What
any
about the
other
Wayans
characters.
brothers?
Yeah, they're out too.
The
they're
Wayans
out-
brothers
they're
could
out
be Merry and
too?
Pippin.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck yeah.
there we go.
So Damon and Marlon.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Man, this would be.
I like it. That'd be interesting.
Would be an awesome
I'm not even gonna.
interpretation of Lord of the Rings.
Have you seen The Wiz?
No,
No,
I don't even know what that is.
It's an all black cast of The Wizard of Oz.
Oh,
With Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston. I think she's in it. I watched it once in middle school.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know why we watched it, but we did.
Well, I think it's a dynamite idea.
and that was your dream.
I heard that
you-
Hollywood. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, there you go.
You were like MLK. You're like, I had a dream
I had a dream. We're gonna
of
bring Lord of the Rings.
I
to
tell
black-
myself that
black culture.
cast and-
Every day, I am like MLK.
I mean, that's
Just like him.
that's a good way to start your day. I am just like Martin Luther King Jr.
What's going on the board?
But yeah, that was the dream that I had last night, which I thought
Okay.
was kind of funny. A lot of white people in this. It's true.
Well, then when
there is a lot of white people in Lord of the Rings.
when Rings of Power came out and there were black elves and stuff like that, people were like, "Come on, dude,
I know. I thought that
a
outrage.
black elf."
That outrage was.
I know it's
super off
It's stupid. First
base.
of all, elves aren't real.
Exactly.
Yeah, like
I like when the Little Mermaid controversy came out and they're like, "Oh, they're casting Ariel as black." Like mermaids are fucking all white in real life.
yeah. It's
And
like,
I remember hearing somebody say, "Well, technically, if they live at the bottom of the ocean, the sun can't get down there to change the pigmentation of the skin." I was like, "Shut the fuck up!
Christ.
Go touch grass, nerd."
Oh my god.
All right, anything else on that?
No, nothing else.
Okay, cool. So, my news story. Right now, Sora. I think it's Sora AI. I don't even want to like dignify the name of the program. By name. But there's been a like some new fucking AI video tool that is able to replicate Studio Ghibli style video and pictures and whatnot.
Yes.
And it's running rampant on Facebook and
Yeah, I've been seeing some
and
stuff.
Twitter and it is absolutely soulless. It is absolutely heartbreaking to see. And I remember when Ghibli or Miyazaki himself was shown early test footage and test pictures of like an AI programming some years ago. He basically said, "This is an insult to life itself.
Yeah, I mean,
The soul has been removed from this art," or
this
something
is
like that.
the same guy who said anime was a mistake. So
Exactly. So I respect everything he says.
yeah,
And there is a ton of people sharing it, and then there's an equal backlash to that where people are sharing like actual animators and actual artists producing things that like AI could never do.
okay.
You know what I mean? And I love that. That's great in itself. But the Legend of Ochi is coming out soon. I think that's this year. And the creator of that shared a sequence of behind the scenes of what is a very small scene, and says, "To make our films, we employed such special effects as puppetry, animatronics, Willem Dafoe, people in ape suits, and matte paintings."
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. And he basically said, "There's so many reasons we won't use AI for our films, but the first and foremost is that it's not very fun. Drawing, sculpting, building stuff in the mountains, that's fun. And this AI slop bullshit garbage that people churn out is fucking trash. It's absolutely trash." I've seen so many heartbreaking posts of artists sharing, that their catalog got somehow trained on the machine learning, and now people are basically recreating their photos or recreating their whatever. And I was listening, this artist recant this one specific photo that she had taken, and she's like, I had no money at the time, and I'm just building my portfolio. Nobody thought my stuff was commercial enough to make money, and it wasn't artistic enough to be in a museum. And so I was in this somewhere in the middle ground. I'm just trying to make my art. And she was this great photo of this woman with the face all painted white with little white flower petals kind of stuck all over her like a flower. Great photo, interesting photo. And this AI slop created something similar with just a different face on there. It looked almost identical. And she's like, someone clicked a button on a keyboard or on a mouse and typed a few things into a keyboard, and they stole me, my soul. And I took hours, me and my friends, to stick these petals on this model's face. And it's like, that was the only thing that I had at the time. The money I had to be able to afford was like, I could buy 3 flowers and get enough petals out of it to make this photo. And it's like somebody basically stole that part of my entire life and put it out there as their own unique art.
And you know, like those fucking morons who do that are like, well, yeah, it only took me like 5 minutes to make this, and it took you, like someone who's in poverty, you know, to spend this time and money and like multiple people to get this involved. Whereas I just like typed this shit in or took your picture and then just repurposed it as my own through this AI garbage filter.
Yeah. And the reality is
that's their own justification for it.
They truly 100% believe it. The people that will champion this, and they say, you know, oh yeah, but I'm an AI artist because I had to come up with the prompts. The shit wouldn't exist if it wasn't for real artists, because it's stealing their artwork and it's stealing their style. Ghibli and Miyazaki himself, basically, they showed a spot, one segment of, I don't know what movie it was. It was this crowd scene in a market. There's all these moving people moving through. It's like a 10-second sequence. And it took them 18 months to animate that and make it exactly what it was. Yeah. Like looking at Akira, what was it? Akira, right?
Akira?
Yeah. Akira, the anime?
Akira.
Yeah. And you see that movie and like individually hand-painted backgrounds of those crazy cities and stuff. You're like...
Yeah.
It's like literal teams of people and a shared vision to make something great.
It was a significant achievement in art.
Or you can just say, make a 10-second clip that looks like Akira, but it's me and my friends in it for our bachelor party. It's like, fuck yourself, you know? And it's like, part of me is almost like, I think, if you're going to do it for you and yourself and like your friends or whatever, you know, I'm not as like aggressively angry about it. Although it is still soulless, it's just it's meaningless nothing. I still won't do it, but it's meaningless nothing. It's the people that go and basically try to make money from it. It's taking money out of the pockets of the artists that are necessary for your bullshit to be created in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is justified in feeling upset about the emergence of AI animation, and I, of course, have a displeasure for AI animation. However, it's futile to emotionally invest enough into it to affect the way that you consume content, because, like I said before, it was an inevitability. Like this is we live in a world of evolution, and we live in a capitalistic world, so this was the natural progression that this was going to happen.
I'm sure it is, but I don't have to accept it.
Of course not. Of course not. That's not what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying like the you're up. I'm not saying like the displeasure is displaced or anything like that. But I feel like I feel like when Hiro Miyazaki is like saying like, oh, this is a disgrace and stuff. Yeah, he's entitled to that opinion, of course. And like, of course, a lot of people, especially us who enjoy the arts of humanity, are not going to like AI. I think that putting energy into the displeasure of AI is not going to change the machine.
I disagree 100%. I disagree, because if I remove that energy and say I'm just going to keep my displeasure to myself, and I'm just going to silently watch people revel in this, and they don't realize what they're doing most of the time. Some of them do, and those people are particularly despicable. But most people, they're just using it because like, oh, this is a cool thing, and they don't realize they're stealing art from people.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And destroying the environment.
Yeah, at the same time.
How are you destroying the environment?
The amount of
Computing power.
technology and computing power, it needs
That destroys the environment. I don't,
because
I don't
of-
know how it works.
because
I'm
of
ignorant
I'm
to
explaining
this.
to you.
Please
Because they
explain
need
it to a
water to like make sure these machines are functioning to keep
What?
them
The machines need water?
to keep them from overheating, and that water is just like recycling and going back into the world, and it becomes less.
okay.
It's not drinkable water. It's not usable water anymore.
I mean, this just shows a flaw in my character that I'm apathetic towards, like the way things work and everything. And maybe that's something I need to work on about, keeping my displeasure of things like AI art to myself, and maybe expressing it more outwardly and hoping that it changes.
I mean, it's just like it just really ultimately comes down to like, will you use it or will you not use it? And I don't. If I know something is created by AI, I make a specific concerted effort to push against it.
Yeah,
I will not comment. I will not like. I will not share.
No.
I will. If I had some of the pages that I followed recently that shared a bunch of Ghibli stuff on their page, and I'm like, this is an instant follow. Hey guys, I have to remove this page at this point.
I think the Ghibli AI stuff is especially egregious because of how legendary of an animator he is, and so to like diminish the work that he's done for like decades.
So you do agree that it's diminishing the work?
Yes,
Why is it different than diminishing Miyazaki's work and his legacy than some artist that makes their living like that?
No, I agree with all of it. I agree that
big titty goth girlfriend anime artists are going to be disappeared one day because the computers will take over and they're just going to reimagine infinite versions of big titty AI goth girlfriends forever.
Yeah, well, we all have to take our losses, but there was when I was looking at big titty goth anime girls on the internet,
As you do.
I didn't realize it was AI until I think it was either Bruce Perky or you, Pete, that pointed out that's AI, and I was like, "What?
Yes.
Really?"
Yes.
And then I stopped.
Is my boner AI?
So, and Kevin brings up a great point. So the market will be the real deciding vote, 100%. And some may welcome the big titty goth girlfriend future that I'm pontificating about. And the truth is, like, when you think about, take fashion, a handmade, hand knitted sweater versus a machine knitted sweater. There's a difference between the two.
Right.
Most of us are not wearing handmade clothes right now, so we've already gone past that point.
I like how we all looked at our
like,
clothes. Right?
am
Where
I?
are we?
This jacket's from Old Navy. Brianna got me
sweatshirt.
from somewhere, and the Levi's are no longer the craftsman level quality that they used to.
Yeah, I
be.
don't think the Supreme sweatshirt is handmade.
Supreme is particularly despicable because they'll charge $800 for a sweatshirt that a Cambodian immigrant child made.
No, they're Canadian made.
Mm-hmm.
So they import the Cambodian child.
Yeah. I don't know anything about Sabrina. I'm just fucking with you. But I mean, it's the same thing. And it's like we will be in that future one day. But hopefully for us, there will be a distinction where I can look at something and go, clearly that is an AI and I don't give a shit about it. And then something else that's like, okay, well, this is a handmade, human-made project with a seal of approval and a stamp on it and all that kind of stuff. And, I'm not saying that computing has no place in the world and all this, algorithm and whatnot, but there is a type of this art that is theft. And I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. So the reason why I bring all that up is that YouTube now has identified these channels that make these bullshit fake movie trailers. And you see them pop up every so often.
I've never seen it, but you were talking
you probably
about
haven't
that
seen
before
the
the
channels.
show.
You probably haven't seen the channels, but you've seen the clips because people will share it on different pages and they'll be like, oh, look, Back to the Future 4 is coming. And it's like an AI bullshit.
Oh my God. You know what? I think I did see something like that.
Fell for it. You fell
I
for
did
it.
because I
And
Google
we've all
searched it.
fall for it at some point because you see it's trailers and it's posters.
Yeah.
And I've shared a poster before. I'm like, oh, this is exciting. Cool. And then someone's like, yeah, that's bullshit. That's not true. That's fake news. And you look it up and sure enough, it's shit.
Fucking A.
And you're like, oh, okay. And that's one photo. But now that it's video, it's a little bit easier to spot because it's video because it's less obvious.
You can kind of see.
Yeah, you see the weird sheen on it and stuff, and you see the non-human way that the things move or whatever. It looks too smooth, too clean.
Yeah.
One day it might not look like that. One day it might look just like everything else. And YouTube now is no longer monetizing those. So there's no ad revenue coming from those channels anymore.
Good for YouTube.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, Google.
Yeah, thank you, Steve Tube, the founder of YouTube.
It's like that California law that just passed about like family influencers, and there's more like protections for the kids of these family
Oh, that's
influencers
interesting. I didn't know
after
that.
the Ruby Frankie sentencing or whatever.
I mean, I think to put a more positive light on this dreadful conversation, I think that I like the future that we're living in, despite the AI that we are currently having to go through. We have the option of not having to consume it, rather than like think about back in like, you know, like the 70s, 80s, and even somewhat in the 90s, where like there was only one type of media that you could consume, which was DVDs, videotapes.
In the 70s?
Or, well, not. I'm just saying in the past, like we only had DVDs, videotapes, and
The theater.
In the theater, or in
television.
in laser discs,
And books.
televisions, and
And music.
We still have books.
Live concerts.
I'm talking about movies because this is a movie goddamn podcast. But now we have the option, and I think that it's great that we can identify what AI art is now. However, I agree with your concern, because I feel like in the future it's going to be discernible from
you mean
like,
non-discernible?
or
Indiscernible.
whatever it is. I don't know.
Well, it's shocking to me the things that people believe in, and it's like, I hate to say it, but it's some boomer shit where you see a picture of a immigrant child who built a tractor out of celery stalks.
Yeah.
And it's like, it took me six weeks to make this, and not one person thanked me.
Oh, yeah.
Please share and say thank you if you believe in God's love. And everyone's like, oh, bless you,
Amen.
child. You're one of God's children. Amen. It's
Prayer hands.
Prayer hands emoji. Share. And you're like, they really believe this shit?
Well, I mean,
And so going down that road, if they believe that, those are the same people that are getting scammed out of money.
And they're voting.
And they're fucking voting. So imagine seeing a picture like that, believing it's real, and then going, yeah, I'm pretty cognizant. I'm doing good about myself. And then you hear fucking Donald Trump saying, that everybody who has a blue tie on is a fucking evil communist, socialist, fascist who's going to come for turn your dog transgender or whatever. And you're like, well, it must be true. I heard it on the internet.
that dog
The same. Don't even try it. The same.
dog
No.
was transgender.
The same.
Transgender.
All right.
The same boomers that were telling us not to talk to strangers on the internet are now believing this bullshit.
Yeah.
So it's like
Don't believe everything you see on the internet.
just
That
see-
generation told me.
I just see a lot of just this really terrible decline of art in the humanity of art. And I'm glad that YouTube's taking a stand on
The
it. And
general level of
Well,
intelligence.
see, that's
can I
what.
finish the story?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'm glad that YouTube's taking a stand on it, because at this point now, what's happening is, so I'll just read it straight from the article here. Deadline analyzed how screen culture is creating trailers that closely imitate official marketing materials for the franchise, like Fantastic Four and Superman, but it splices in AI imagery to tease irresistible details about a movie that appealed to their giant fandoms.
irresistible.
So KH Studios, meanwhile, imagines outlandish versions of major films and series, including a James Bond movie starring Henry Cavill and Margot Robbie, and Squid Game season with Leonardo DiCaprio in it. So,
Oh my god.
a handful of Hollywood studios, including Warner Brothers, Discovery, and Sony, are all secretly asking YouTube to ensure that the ad revenue goes from those to the studios rather than the quote-unquote content creators.
Yeah, those studios are starving.
Well, I mean, they're using their intellectual properties, and they're taking them and like bastardizing their product. As much as it is a soulless commerce, it's still somebody's art.
Sure.
So now YouTube has now completely suspended Screen Culture and KH Studios from its partner program for violating monetization policies, meaning that they can't even earn ad revenue from the videos they produce now. YouTube's monetization policy stated the creators are borrowing material from others. Quote, you need to change it significantly to make it your own. It adds that videos must not be duplicative or repetitive and should not be made for the sole purpose of getting views. That last part's weird.
Nah.
They shouldn't be made with the sole purpose of getting views.
Yeah. I know we make content so people don't watch.
Yeah.
If you look at our streaming numbers.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's our sweet spot. Yeah. Anywhere between 2 and 6 people.
Yeah, we really don't want people.
That's
listening.
where we thrive.
Yeah, that's our.
Yeah, that's
the moneymaker. So,
Fucking A.
Kevin's got a. He says, I think it's a very good sign that the reaction to The Brutalist was general repulsion regarding their use of AI in the film. I agree with that too, and it's come out that there's much less actual use of AI than.
Yeah, we went over it.
Yeah, we talked about it last week, so I won't rehash it again. I'm going to talk about that movie in the Streaming Picks episode or later. So, but anyways, just kind of cool to see that. There's some other things too, like there's a lawsuit that was won specifically about.
Wasn't it about Scarlett Johansson?
No,
and her
no.
voice being.
I'm sure that was it, but that's what I'm talking about. It was something about training the AI algorithms to take from copyrighted sources, which has basically been my entire thing. This whole argument for the years it's been kind of growing. Mm-hmm. If they could train it off of your own art and you could make generative AI based off of your own art, then it's just a tool that you're using your own resources for. The second that you sick the program on the open internet and you're pulling from copyrighted sources to make this new stuff, then that's called copyrighted.
Yeah,
How can I, if I could come up with an idea while I'm working for a company and then they could claim intellectual property because I was being paid while I came up with that idea? You hear about that sometimes. Mm-hmm. How is that legal? But these people can fucking train their programs off of other people's copyrighted art. It makes no sense.
Well, I mean, we're in the wild west of like ever evolving technology.
Laws are coming, as Kevin says. Fair use lawsuits are incoming.
Yeah, I mean, again, this was an inevitability, and that we should have that the people in power, especially movie studios, should have been prepared for. And I'm pretty sure that they knew, and they're thinking.
Well, they're using it too.
Yeah, and I was thinking
they're being bitten by their own snake.
Well, even that, or that they're just like rubbing their hands. They're like, oh yeah, this. Well,
the studio heads, yeah, they're the ones who are like doing that. But the people who work for them, the writers and the like VFX artists and anything else, those are the ones who are suffering because this AI is essentially gonna be
replacing them.
It would be replacing them, and that's what the strikes were about.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do we not remember the strikes?
Yeah. For now, I think everyone is somewhat safe because I think that there's a huge online presence of being against AI.
Tyler, what's boot polish taste like?
It's a little.
I've never tasted it.
It's oily.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, bitter.
It gives you a weird taste in your mouth.
Gives you
numb
tum.
It kind of coats
Num
your
tum.
mouth.
What's num tum? All right, that's all I gotta say about that.
All right. I mean, we could go on and on about it.
Anything else you guys want to say before we take a break and come back to do some streaming picks and talk about the new show format?
No.
You good?
No.
Okay. Angry Otter's been in the chat. Kevman's been in the chat. Thanks, guys, for showing up. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Not a normal day. Joseph had some engagements yesterday, so we changed up a little bit. We're not really good about how do we get the message out to you guys? Yeah. Yeah, anything.
Just figure it out.
What do we do? Make a YouTube post? Not a
upload,
but
post?
just like a text post or a
We're not
photo
recording today.
Yeah. See you guys tomorrow. I guess we could put it on the Facebook.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. Well, I'm going to start saying we're going to stream Saturday or Sunday at 12:30.
We're going to be streaming maybe
Just hit that bell on the YouTube.
one or the other day of the weekend.
We'll stream sometime between Friday night and Monday morning.
There you go.
So, anything else, guys?
No, that's it.
Okay, so thank you to our cool SER duties over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather, Michael, Steven, and Chris. If you want to support us on the Patreon, you can do so at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass. Or you can just support us on the YouTube. Watch, share with a friend, watch to completion, put it on, and if you're listening to the audio, just
to
go
completion.
Yeah. If you're listening to the audio only, just throw it on the YouTube instead. That's one way you can help.
I knew that was coming.
We're in triple digits revenue now, which means at least $1 we've made.
Nice.
Triple digits.
Hell yeah.
1 point.
Cha-ching.
Yeah. We're going to get the Pink Floyd money
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
when we go over our revenue next time.
Yep.
So, anyways, we'll go until next time. Thank you for joining us on this funky episode. Follow us later on in the week or later on today as we do our streaming picks, and then we talk about the new format of the new show. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class.
And follow us on Twitter at Podcast MCFC and on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class.
All right. We're going to be probably about 20 minutes or so, maybe something like that, and we'll come right back. We'll see you in a bit.
See ya.
See it.
You try to not jerk off while you're watching this movie.
Fucking liberals. That's my wife.
I'm gay.
Please clap.
Oh my God! What?
Her sister was a witch!
Oh!
She was hot, dude.
I'm gay.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call.
Bueller?
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller?
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimble to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates, and welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Joseph.
And today we're doing a hybrid version of the show. We just finished up with our kind of first half of the Gab and Chatter, and this half we're going to be doing nothing but stream picks.
Movies.
Wanna watch a movie?
Yes, I do.
Disney Plus, HBO Max.
If I don't get the pick, show's over.
I have grown accustomed to Hulu Plus.
Amazon Prime. I like Netflix.
You found the pick.
Streaming picks, movies that we watched this week on our streaming services that you can watch on yours too. Tyler, you want to lead us off?
Yeah, so I'm going to cap off my Gene Hackman sort of, stint that I was going on with Hoosiers.
Cool.
1986 Hoosiers. For a little bit of context, I watched this movie while it was kind of like a day it was today, right now, that we're experiencing in Sacramento, where it's rainy and windy. Can't really do like outdoor activities. And so my PE teacher sat us down in the basketball in the auditorium and put on Hoosiers. And that was the first time I watched it. I think I would believe I was either in middle school or a freshman. It was really young where I was watching this movie. And I remember enjoying it very much. And then because I was going on like this Gene Hackman bit, I was like, oh yeah, Gene Hackman was in Hoosiers. He played the coach. And so I put it on. That's streaming on Amazon Prime. And the movie isn't as great as I thought it was when I was younger.
It doesn't land still, doesn't hold up.
Yeah, it didn't really, for myself, it didn't really hold up. Mostly because I thought it would be more for the basketball aspect of it rather than like the character study of the dad who's a drunk, and then Gene Hackman who is hot-headed. Although I do like that character study, I was more wanting for it to be about sports, or the sport of basketball. And I think everyone did very fine in it. Gene Hackman obviously carried the movie, and I thought that his character of trying to get the drunk dad to he was the assistant coach. I thought he would be a little bit more prevalent in the movie, but he kind of was in the background. Like, he showed up a little bit, but he wasn't like a main focal point. So the movie for myself was a little bit all around the place. It was about the basketball team, and then it was about the character study of the head coach, and then the drunk, and then it was just okay, let's kind of make it into a straight line here. And it was a little messy, but I thought it was a fine movie, and it made me want to go shoot some hoops, for sure. So I mean,
Did you do it?
I don't have a basketball.
Oh.
So
Didn't you tell us a story about one time you were playing basketball in front of your parents' house and there was a kid there and then something happened?
I don't want to go over that story, but yeah, okay. Well,
the police were involved.
All right, fine. So yeah, so I was shooting some I was shooting some hoops in front of my parents' house, and then a kid came up and he wanted to shoot some hoops with me, and then the dad came out and he was like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I was like,
playing some.
I was just
Reenacting Hoosiers. He's
Yeah.
like, what?
One of my favorite movies.
And so, Hoosiers. I think this movie gets a little bit over glorified, and I mean, with good reason, because Gene Hackman is very good in this movie.
So you think if Hackman wasn't there, the movie would be not?
It would not be good.
Not be good.
Do
Okay.
people glorify this movie?
Yeah, it's really highly revered.
Yeah,
I've never heard
it's
anyone
very highly regarded as.
I've
like,
never
one
heard
of-
anyone regard or revere it.
Yeah, anytime you're talking about like sports movies, it's
Hoosiers.
named up there is very high. on the
Hoosiers,
list.
always Hoosiers, number one sports movie ever.
I'd say probably top 10. When
Well,
we
it's
talk about the lists.
It's directed by David Anspaugh. Anspaugh. He did Rudy, which is.
I hate Rudy.
Yeah, yeah. He did
That little bitch.
I felt the same way.
That little speech that he gives to no one in the locker room
Yeah.
by himself.
I don't remember it.
Corniest thing I've ever seen.
It's
Sports movies kind of have a sleeper hold on the corny market.
yeah.
We gotta get out there.
I mean, I think, and you know what? That actually is a good segue into for my thought in saying that I feel we need a new sports movie.
A new sport,
Like a sports movie every year.
A new sport.
I think
pickleball
and a new movie.
I think we need a new maybe pickleball, maybe badminton.
It's called Challengers.
Yeah. Imagine it was Challengers, but it was just pickleball instead
Pickleball
of tennis.
instead.
It's the only thing they change.
Isn't pickleball just it's like a combination of tennis and ping pong?
Yeah,
It's like
Pretty
tennis
much.
with ping pong paddles.
Yeah.
yeah.
On the topic of the word Hoosier, I was
Hoosiers?
I was looking it up. The Hoosiers, yeah. I was looking it up. So it's a demonym for people that live in the state of Indiana.
Right.
And demonym is just a signifier for like where you live, but it's like what you call yourself.
Demonym.
Demonym.
Throwing
Yeah.
that in my vocabulary.
Yeah. So if you're Spanish, you are a Spaniard. The demonym is the Spaniard. If you're British, you are a Briton. Briton.
If you're Mexican, if you're from Mexico, you're from Mexican. You're Mexican.
Yeah, Mexican and Mexican is the same thing. The demonym and the descriptive or the adjective is the same. So
California.
but Hoosiers doesn't match anything. You're like, where the fuck did that come from? The widely regarded, widely accepted phrase is that back then, way in the early settlers' days, during early settlements of Indiana, travelers would call out, "Who's here?" when approaching a cabin, and then the greeting evolved into "Who's here?"
Oh, okay. That's
And
interesting.
It was adopted as the official demonym of the state of Indiana, and like, I don't know what.
So
is
if
the
you're
thing.
just Indiana in general,
Indiana as a state,
if you're from Indiana,
you're a Hoosier. If you come from Indiana,
okay.
For the longest time, I thought it was just the name of the sport team, which it is.
Or if you're from Pittsburgh, it's a Yinzer.
Yeah. I don't know if that's the official demonym, but
a Yinzer.
Yinzer. Yeah.
Where does that come from?
I don't know. I'll look it up.
I don't know.
There's no Yinzers movie.
I don't know. So Hoosiers, that's streaming on Amazon Prime. I think it's worth a watch. I mean, especially like if you have little ones.
What's a better sports movie?
A better sports movie? Man, you're putting me on the spot here.
Not a big question.
Space Jam.
Okay. That's funny you say that because Angry Otter in the chat just said Space Jam 2026 Pickleball Edition.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
this bit again.
What's
Adam Sandler came out.
the longest yard?
Yeah.
Adam Sandler came out with a great one last year. Hustle.
Oh,
I think it was called Hustle.
Just is it about the sport?
Yeah, it's about basketball.
Or is it about?
Uncut Gems.
I've never seen it, so I don't know. That's not a sport movie.
Yeah, it is. It involves.
It's a betting.
It involves running.
Yeah, it's called Hustle. And it's 2022. It's a few years now.
Oh, okay.
It's a Netflix movie. Really good. It's about basketball, and he's a talent scout. For the
Okay, I
NBA.
thought it was like a money thing.
No, it's
Like
specifically
betting
about-
or something.
No. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean,
Moneyball.
That's just recent. Yeah, Moneyball's easy.
Moneyball's way better than.
Major League.
Rollerball.
No.
Is that a sci-fi?
No version of Rollerball is good. I watched the original and the Chris Klein one.
Basketball.
Haven't seen Hoosiers, so I can't say it's better, but I like basketball. A lot of good quotes.
The Mighty Giants or the Little Giants.
Angels in the outfield.
Oh, what was the one? That
Bench
we were,
warmers.
What was the one?
A League of Their Own.
The League of Their Own. Yeah.
A league of Their
A
Own.
League of Their Own. Yes.
All right, what's next, Tyler?
Okay, so I know this is a movie podcast, but I have to mention this mini series that I watched on Netflix that should be considered a film in nature.
Is it my stream pick from last week?
Escape at Dannemora.
Oh, what is that?
Jesus goddamn Christ. It's starring Benicio del Toro and Paul Dano and Patricia Arquette.
What is it called? Say it
Escape
again.
from Dannemora.
Yes.
2 words?
Dannemora.
Dannemora.
That's all one word.
So it's based
Dannemora.
off the prison escape from 2015. I had no idea that it was such a famous prison escape.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it either.
It's a New York, upstate New York prison.
Right. And my God, this show is so underrated, and I've never heard anyone talk about it. And so when I
It's from 2018.
2018.
Oh.
Yeah. It was pre-19 and
Pre-2019,
You
yes.
watched the whole series?
yes.
This week?
Yes.
Cool.
I did. I was obsessed with it. It was
Field of Dreams, Angry Otter, iffy.
yeah, maybe.
Hardball.
But this is streaming on Netflix, and I was on the fence about mentioning it on the show, but because of how well it's done and how cinematic it is, and like the cinematography and the writing, and plus it has Paul Dano and Benicio del Toro, which
Benicio
del Toro. I'm sorry, Benicio.
Of the Toro.
But because we're all really big fans of Paul Dano, I felt like I had an obligation to mention this fantastic show. So essentially, it's about a prison escape where Benicio del Toro and Paul Dano, Benicio. Sorry, God damn it, Benicio del Toro.
Calling you Benny.
Okay, so Benny
of the Toro.
All right, Benny and Paul D. They are giving the D to this woman that works in the sewing shop.
Okay,
and
they're giving the D to this woman.
The double D.
No, not double, but
damn that like.
Oh, sorry.
not double, but it's
they're high-fiving up top.
Yeah, yes, essentially.
Yeah, that's the old.
Essentially. So it's
from Paris, France.
So so
Is that what you're alluding to?
What? Let me finish.
It's a wonder of the world, isn't it?
Okay, so Benny del Toro, he hatches up this plan to escape from the prison. Like, he's tired of it.
Okay.
And he wants
Tired of prison.
Yeah, he's tired of prison. He wants to escape. And this
Used to be
guy...
Okay. Now I'm a little tired of it.
This prison thing's getting a little old.
First 6 months, I was like, it's not that bad.
I need a change in my life.
And he's friends with Paul Dano, and he offers the opportunity to be a part of the plan. And Paul Dano was like, "No, I'm not gonna do it."
Oh, part
and
of the
then
plan.
and then eventually, well, they're both in prison for life. So Paul Dano kind of makes the realization that, well, I have nothing to lose. So he eventually agrees, and then he goes. They find like a way to escape from the prison, and it's essentially a prison escape show. It's only
weird.
It's 8 episodes.
7 on here.
Well,
it felt like 8.
Well, it's 8 episodes on Netflix because they break the 7th episode into 2 parts.
Oh, okay. We're about an hour each. This is a long series. Well, the last one's an hour.
What were you
40.
doing? Nothing, I guess.
That's like 8 hours worth of.
Yeah,
watching.
8 hours of free time.
Yeah.
You're turning a new leaf, Noe.
Yeah. Well,
Appreciate it.
Well,
Bring in more to the show.
I don't know if that's sarcasm or not.
No,
but,
it's not.
But I'm telling you guys, like, I wouldn't mention this show like if it's like on like the same like sort of pedestal of The Last of Us, True Detective season 1.
Wow.
And
high praise.
The TV series The Bear.
And I don't think it. I don't
and
think
Rocky
it's,
1.
And Rocky 1 too. Yeah. But the way that it's filmed, like when you're watching each episode, feels like a short film. Like
But it's an hour long.
within each well, hold on. What was it? The short film, like it has to be like under 70 minutes or something like that?
Like 45 minutes, I think. 47 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Technically, it's a
Okay,
feature.
okay. Well, I mean, it seems like a very short movie each episode. It's so well acted. Patricia Arquette.
I feel like Tyler's going to grab me by the lapels and just say, watch this movie. Watch the show.
Yeah.
Basically what we tried to do to him.
Yeah.
Watch it, damn it. Watch a movie.
I'll watch the first episode, and if it hooks me, I'll keep watching it. How about that?
Yeah.
Were you hooked the first episode?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
okay.
Definitely hooked to the first
Got
episode.
the first taste for free.
Yeah. I mean, it just it feels very cinematic, and then so
That's on Netflix.
Escape from whatever. I can't. I'm not gonna even try to pronounce the name. I always forget the name.
Yeah, good.
is it?
Danamore.
Denim Dan?
Danamore.
Danamore. Yeah. Bonnie Hunt is in it as well, and also Chrissy from The Sopranos plays the governor of New York in there. That was a very surprising star.
Benicio del Toro, Patricia Arquette, Paul Dano, Bonnie Hunt, David Morse.
You fool! That's Paul Dano.
There you go. That's the only people that I recognize.
Yeah, and then I know that we're all a part of the cinematics community here, and everyone has been gushing about adolescence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm not buying it.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I'm not. No, that show sucks.
All right,
That
I'm
show-
not watching your show now.
Why?
Because if you say that show is great and then you say Adolescence sucks, I don't know what to believe.
No, I did not like Adolescence. I'm sorry, everyone in the cinematics universe.
Big Andrew Tate fan.
I just
You couldn't stand his slandering. His
Part of
name.
the manosphere, aren't you?
I just it was boring.
How's
How's
that red pill taste?
It tastes kind of like a good jammy red wine.
Wash it down with the boot polish.
Yeah, maybe I do need to do that.
Okay,
but
well, that's interesting.
So
That's sad you don't like it.
Adolescence. I thought I was going to like it because all of my peers were gushing over this TV series.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to palate wash it with watching Dahmer on Netflix as well. And that is an incredible series.
Yeah.
So, and then
Well, why didn't you like it though?
It was boring. It was just boring. It was boring. Like I wasn't.
Joseph, did you watch it?
Not yet. No.
I thought the cinematography was very well done, and I thought the acting was done well as enough. But I think the story overall, just did not get the hooks in me. And yeah, I just kind of.
You didn't find the topic interesting at all?
No, I didn't.
And how it relates to possibly the current society in which we live with the youth and their growing up and the things that they're exposed to.
I didn't think about that.
How about the one shot nature of the episodes? Do you appreciate that?
I do. Yes, I do. But it's the content that I
couldn't get past
I couldn't get it didn't get me over the hump.
Not enough explosions.
Yeah, not enough. There was kind of child killing, but
kind of
off screen.
Yeah, it wasn't overt. So
no one was ripped to shreds.
Yeah, and then I watched on Hulu A Complete Unknown.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that movie was. I was confused about if I liked it or not, because when I was watching it, it inspired me to pick up my guitar.
That's good.
And make me feel like the main character of my life again.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
However, there's something about Timothée Chalamet, who is my mortal enemy. There's just something about him. What I will say about the movie, though, is that because they worked on this movie before 19, and so he had a long time to channel his Bob Dylan character. And so when you watch the movie, you can tell that the efforts that he made really was put to good use. And so I could the thing is though, is like, you know what Bob Dylan looks like, and Timothy Chalamet does not look like Bob Dylan.
No, Kate Blanchett. That looks like Bob Dylan.
Correct. And so so what took me out of the movie was him not looking like Bob Dylan, but he got the voice and the cadence and like the, you know, his mannerisms like spot on, but it was just his face. Like every time I saw his face, I'm just like, that's not Bob.
He's too handsome looking. For
Mm.
Bob Dylan. If you look at Bob Dylan, IRL,
Yeah.
and then you look at
Timothy Chalamet.
yeah,
It's Twink King Timmy Shee.
it's almost like
It's a stark difference. And
Yeah.
that's what like I couldn't get out of my head when I was watching A Complete Unknown. Like the movie is beautiful. Like everyone
Yeah.
acted great.
I will say
Like,
that Joaquin Phoenix doesn't look like Johnny Cash either, though.
Yeah.
I know, especially because he played in what was it? What was the movie called?
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But Boyd Holbrook as that Johnny Cash character, I feel like
Yes.
he was great.
Yeah.
Even though he had like a very small role.
That's
I like Boyd Holbrook in general.
That whole scene was incredibly well done.
Him like swaying
Yeah.
and drunkenly trying to get into his car was a good scene. And his performance as like putting on that voice was like really convincing.
Yeah. So like I wrestle with the fact that like A Complete Unknown, while being a good movie, it was hard for me to be immersed in it because I hate Timothy Chalamet, and two,
He looks like Bob Dylan if he was mewing the whole time.
and two, like I just couldn't get past like how he didn't look like Bob Dylan. Like he had all the mannerisms, even the voice, but just his face, I couldn't get past it. But I like the movie, and I think I might watch it again, honestly. It was pretty compelling.
It's good. I liked it a lot. There was definitely a lot of music, like a lot of performance.
Yes. And
I was this close to watching that this week, but
yeah,
watched some long movies, so I didn't.
You kind of have some Bob Dylan hair right now.
Oh, thank you. I don't know if that's a compliment.
Yes,
Oh, that's a Jew.
So yeah, those are, well, I mean, I guess
these are streaming picks.
those are things. That
Well done.
Where's The Complete Unknown on Hulu?
Yeah, it's on Hulu.
And Escape from Dannemora, Netflix?
Netflix, and then
Hoosiers
on
Amazon
Prime. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Joseph, what do you got?
I only have 2 movies. I thought I did. Oh, I guess I queued it up. So I watched, streaming on Max, I Saw the TV Glow.
Ooh, very interested to see what you think about that.
And it's a polarizing movie, I
Yep.
think, in terms of
Yes.
how people think about it.
I turned it off after the first like 10 minutes. I did not like that movie.
And it's a sad movie, kind of I don't want to say tragic movie, but it's a sad movie for sure. And it ends on a sort of sad vibe.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
sure.
That's for sure.
I did not expect, I didn't know what to expect. I just sort of know what it's been said about it. And like people of the trans community identify a lot with this story and seem to like it a lot. So I went in with as neutral as a viewpoint as possible on it. And like, I don't get that aspect out of the story. But I was still like intrigued and entertained throughout the movie. I didn't think it was great, but I thought it was pretty good. It was like a mystery movie. It was like a sort of like a whodunit, but more like a where are they type of movie. Because it kind of revolves around this fictional TV show, like Buffy or Veronica Mars type show. It has like this cult following it was in like the late 90s or early 2000s, and the people grew up on it. And the two main characters of this story are obsessed with it, like comically obsessed with this movie.
Obsessed.
And you have Justice Smith, who played the wizard in Dungeons and Dragons, and the other actor, I can't remember their name. Taylor? No. I can't remember the character's name. But I thought it was pretty, like, a slightly above mid for me.
Okay. They go by Jack Haven now.
Jack Haven. Okay.
I didn't know that he transitioned.
Yeah, I thought it was like slightly above mid. I don't think I'd ever watch it again. But I wasn't sure what type of genre it was. It's not a horror movie.
That's probably my biggest weird thing, that it was sold as a horror movie this whole time, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's not a horror movie. It's like sort of a coming of age, sad story.
Yeah,
kind of. Yeah,
you didn't get the like the trans allegory and all that kind of stuff.
No, because I didn't read into it like that. I could see the character, like via the characters, like that part of it, but I didn't really take that from this movie.
I thought it was more like nostalgia porn mixed with like really in your face trans allegory stuff.
Yeah.
And then my biggest problem with the ending, and see what you think about this, is it almost like that weird flashback where he's working at the Chuck E. Cheese sort of thing, or flash forward and he's like the old man.
Yeah.
And like Conor O'Malley's there and stuff.
That was surprising.
Yeah, I loved
seeing Conor O'Malley getting a blowjob.
I know. It was so weird.
I was like, whoa, he's in this movie?
Yeah. He lobbied for that scene too.
Yeah. And he was just playing himself.
Pretty much.
He was just playing Conor O'Malley.
But like when that happens and then he basically dies this unfulfilled life and stuff, and it almost feels like there was a part of it that was kind of made it feel like, well, if you don't transition, then you're never going to be good enough. If you feel that way, you need to go out of your way and do that. But I think a lot of people don't have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know, that sends a weird message.
I don't know. It was I didn't get that from it. I thought that he was just how he is, and his friend was that was the trans story.
I figured they both were.
I didn't think that I think he was just obsessed with the TV show. And like he had nobody else. He couldn't relate to anybody else.
He definitely plays sad really good though.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, let's
when he is in that old makeup, I was like, damn. This is just like it reminded me of like Beau Was Afraid in terms of like this guy just has a sad story.
Yeah,
there's no happy ending for this dude.
Yeah, that's a good parallel there.
But yeah, it was pretty good, I guess. I wouldn't watch it again. But yeah, hard for me to relate to a lot of the topics in it, but it's made for a sort of specific audience, but I feel like it could be watched by anybody, and you wouldn't necessarily have to take that idea from it. It's just a story of, I guess, feeling different, being different, and you don't have to be necessarily specifically trans to get that message from it.
Yeah, you want to come out as a Republican.
Yeah, that's how I did.
Mom, Dad, I voted for Bush.
If I could,
3 times.
If I could have voted, I would have voted for Bush.
And if I could have voted, I would have voted.
But yeah, so that's streaming on Max.
Cool.
And then the next one, streaming on Hulu. This is Thank You for Smoking.
Oh, yes.
Starring Aaron Eckhart, Harvey Dent, J.K. Simmons, Adam Brody, Sam Elliott, Katie Holmes, Rob Lowe, William H. Macy, Robert Duvall,
star-studded cast,
David Koechner. There's a lot of people in this movie, and it's a sort of dry, dark comedy-ish, directed by Jason Reitman. Yeah, Jason Reitman. Came out in 2005. And this is a very entertaining movie. It's very I don't want to say it's like surrealist, but because it's not presented that way at all. But essentially, Aaron Eckhart is a representative for the tobacco industry. And there's a part in the movie where he goes to dinner with David Koechner and I don't remember the actress's name, but essentially he represents the tobacco industry. David Koechner represents the gun industry, and she represents the alcohol industry. And they're all having dinner together. And there's a scene where they're all talking about like, well, tobacco kills like there's hundreds of thousands of people a year. Well, how much does the alcohol industry kill, huh? Like they're bragging about it, and then they both rag on the guy who's representing the gun industry. He's like, you only kill like 11,000 people a year.
Wow, that's weird. I don't know anything about this movie.
It's good.
And the character that Aaron Eckhart plays, his name is Nick Naylor, and he's a divorced father. And his son goes on like he's kind of acts like as like a salesman a little bit. He goes around the country and speaks to people. William H. Macy plays a senator who's essentially opposing and challenging the tobacco industry to put a skull and crossbones on the cigarette labels.
Okay,
and that's sort of the like overarching plot of the story. And Nick Naylor's going to represent the tobacco industry and essentially present his case as to why they shouldn't do that. It's a really entertaining movie, really fun and like kind of quick witted. It kind of reminded me of like a Coen Brothers movie, like a Burn After Reading, type of plot, type of energy, and it's really fun. It's a good like Sunday afternoon watch or
nice.
It's I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Where is it streaming at?
It's streaming on Hulu.
Nice.
For sure. Like what I would recommend. It's not like laugh out loud funny, but there are moments
Like clever funny.
for sure. Yeah.
Interesting. Great cast.
Yeah.
Interesting concept. It's weird. It's alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. That's the ATF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all,
That's what I was
all the three regular branches of the ATF.
Yeah.
Let's all get dinner.
Yeah. And that's streaming on Hulu. And that's all I have.
Cool. All right. I saw the TV glow and thank you for smoking.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got my 4K version of The Brutalist from A24.
Yes.
Rewatched that with Brianna. I finally strong-armed her into agreeing to a 3-hour and 45-minute movie.
All at once?
Did it still have the intermission?
Yes, but it cut it down to 1 minute.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I thought was interesting. I was like, cool, we can actually get up, take a break, we'll have a snack, hit the bathroom. And she's like, it was really only 1 minute in the theater? I'm like, what? No, that's really interesting. Yeah. Because the intermission, the photo that's still of the intermission is meaningful to the plot, too. Yeah. So it makes sense that it's there anyways.
Right.
I love it. It's great.
I'm waiting for Deanna to be ready.
Yeah, you got to be ready.
Yeah, got to be ready.
I mean, we started it yesterday. Brianna had a celebration of life to go to for a parent of a friend. And then when she got back, she's like, okay, I'm already kind of in a bad mood. Like, I'm already depressed. Let's watch this depressing movie. Yeah. And we started it like, I don't know, 4 in the afternoon. It's still going, actually.
Oh, yeah. And his speech, he's still talking.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just still fantastic. It's still really good. And there's more. It actually does benefit in a rewatch. So there's things that I picked up from like the first act and the first half that kind of pay off later on. And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense now. It is much better in theaters with the full scope and the large scale and stuff. And I could only have the volume so loud for Brianna's sake. I like to have the volume like just cranked to 11, and she does not. So I had to pick and choose. She looked at me and she's like, "Can I turn it down?" I'm like, "Give me 10 minutes. The intro is fucking good."
Yeah.
And then
Give me 10 minutes.
And then once the credits start rolling, I turn the volume down for her. But yeah, Guy Pearce should have won Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah.
So that's I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, but I watched it.
I think you can rent it now.
Yeah, you can get it.
Probably, yeah.
It's a $10 rental pretty much everywhere right now. Okay, I'm going to go worst first. I have no bad movies I watched this week.
Oh,
nice.
But I watched an
I'll be the judge of that.
Yeah.
I'll be the judge.
An interesting one that's directed by Viggo Mortensen.
Oh, I heard about this.
2023 is called The Dead Don't Hurt. And this is streaming...
Sequel to The Dead Don't Die.
I guess it would be a prequel because this is set in the Wild West.
Yeah.
This is streaming on Fubo, Paramount Plus, and that's it. I watched it on Paramount Plus. And this is also starring Vicky Creeps. She's the one.
Creeps.
Yeah, Creeps or Cripes. She's the romantic lead in Phantom Thread.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I haven't seen her in anything else.
Okay.
Yeah,
Since Phantom Thread.
Yeah, she's been in a bunch of stuff. She was in Old. She had a small part
I
in
didn't
Old.
watch that.
Oh, you didn't? Don't. It's not good.
Okay.
Also, she was in the Three Musketeers d'Artagnan, which was also really good. But this is a story of, it's set in the 1860s in near the West Coast, kind of near San Francisco. Maybe it's a drivable distance, but they don't have cars.
Hour by horse.
Yeah, and Viggo Mortensen basically just plays a homesteader. He's got this little house. He's a former.
He's a simple man.
French Canadian.
Sequel to Hidalgo.
Is a French Canadian living in the American West, and he's already enlisted to. Well, no, he's not French. She's French Canadian. He's a Danish. I think he's Danish.
He's a Dane, huh?
Yeah. And he fought in some war for whatever happened over there, and he came over to the United States, and he's kind of like trying to live a free life over here, but it's like just boring ass. Just got a little fucking house, dirty ass, nothing,
Stupid fucking house.
Yeah,
It's dirty as
sucks.
shit.
It's dirt everywhere. There's nothing there. It's
The story of my life.
and he meets this woman played by Vicky Creeps, and she comes over and is like, "You live like this? You live like a dog, you know." Plant some flowers, goddammit.
He lives like a dog.
Yeah,
You dirty little mud
She
grub.
says that to him. She's like,
Yeah.
"Who lives like this? You live like a dog." He's like,
Yeah,
I like it."
Anyone who comes over to my house says the same thing.
Yeah, but the difference is you're not Viggo Mortensen,
In the 1860s.
king of men, after all.
Well, that's true.
So,
that's true.
Also has Garrett Dillahunt in this, Danny Houston, and there's this actor who was phenomenal in this. His actor's name is Sully McLeod. And
McLeod.
I've never seen him in anything, but man, he plays a real good shithead. He plays the son of the sheriff.
This guy's just a piece of shit.
Total piece of shit. And basically, it's told in like two different storylines. It's like it's half the movie's a flashback and half it's the repercussions of the flashback. And I was a little confused because I didn't clearly delineate when you're going back and forth. So a couple times I'm like, what is going on with this movie? And then Brianna's like, well, she was the girl at the beginning. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes way more sense now. So all in all, not amazing movie, but it is good. So that's The Dead Don't Hurt. It's a good kind of slow burn Western. It's got some romance. It's got some heartache. It's got really not as much action as you might think. But there's some pretty good acting performances. And Viggo's great. He's always great. Vicky Creeps always great. But this other guy, Sully McLeod, really, really just nailed that piece of shit part. So,
Nice.
So worth a shot if you're into that.
Back here.
Yeah, worth a watch. If you're into that type of movie. Streaming on Paramount Plus. Next up, I watched A Different Man, starring Sebastian Stan on Max.
I've been wanting to pull the trigger on that, and I always choose something else.
It is very interesting. Very interesting.
Very different, man.
Very different, man.
So, Adam, what is his name? Adam Pearson in real life is a kind of an enigmatic, sort of interesting real life character. He's a stand-up comedian, sort of social butterfly sort of guy that has this insane facial deformity, I think it's a collection of tumors. If he has the same the ailment that Sebastian Stan's character does in this movie, then it is a series of tumors, because there's a couple scenes where Sebastian Stan's character goes to the doctor and they're like, well, this tumor's growing and we can probably leave it for a while until it impairs your vision, and then we should probably cut it out. But hey, it's been 2 years since you had a surgery, so good milestone. Okay. And it gives you an idea of like what it's like to live with this thing. And but Sebastian Stan's character, he goes by Edward, is his name. He is just a disheveled, broken man. He's there's a lot of parallels to Beau is Afraid in this movie. A lot.
To Beau is Afraid?
Yes, a lot. And I was very surprised by the end of it. I'm like, this was like an alternate universe Beau is Afraid. And the plot is that he's this sad man who has never felt the touch of a woman, never walked into a room where he wasn't immediately stared at because of his facial deformity, and he's an aspiring actor. He's trying to get into any way he can, and I won't say what he's working on a is working on a project in the
Porno?
beginning of the movie, but I won't say what it is because it's kind of a funny reveal. And he moves in, his neighbor in this apartment complex, he lives in New York. Her name is Ingrid. Very attractive, very tall, maybe Finnish or Norwegian or something like that woman. She moves in and she's a playwright. And they have this kind of friendly relationship, never quite gets into romantic or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he takes part in this experimental medical procedure to basically fix his face. And it's like almost like a fantastical thing. Like, oh, we're just going to give you this injection and you're just fixed, you know, but it's going to be painful and we don't know. And it's all unknown and all this stuff.
He's like, fuck it.
Exactly. He's like, what else I got to lose, you know? So it works. And he becomes what we know as Sebastian Stan. His face turns into a handsome man. And he basically abandons his life. And he's like, oh, yeah. Everyone's like, the doctor who administered it to him is like coming to check up on him because he's like, man, we haven't heard from Edward in a week. We need to update his progress because there's like experimental tests and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's talking to Edward face to face, doesn't recognize him. And he goes, have you seen Edward? And he's like, oh, yeah, he died. He's my cousin. He died. So, yeah, we already buried him. He's gone. Yeah, so sorry. And then he starts a new life with a new name.
That's awesome.
From that point, he stumbles upon this off-Broadway production by Ingrid. It's about him, her, and his relationship. And he auditions for the part as Edward, but with a normal face.
Oh, shit.
And all the people on Broadway, this off-Broadway production, all are like disfigured. They all have like severe facial deformities or burn scars.
But he's a handsome man now.
Well, they gave him a mask of what he used to look like as a souvenir beforehand, and he wears it during the performances.
That triggered him.
And she's just like, wow, you're great. You're like, it's like you really know the character. And he's wearing this mask that looks exactly like he did before. And then out of nowhere, Adam Pearson, the real life Adam Pearson playing the character of Oswald, comes in and is like, oh, what a wonderful performance. Oh, looks like you guys already have the lead wrapped up, but hey, if something changes, let me know. And he looks just like the guy. And you're like, she's like, whoa. And he's super charismatic and he's basically living his best life.
Yeah.
He's the version of Sebastian Stan's character before the facial transformation. But instead of being this timid, demure, beaten man, he's just like, oh yeah, don't talk. That's my ex coming over here. Don't look now, you know. And he's got an ex-wife and a kid, and he's like living life. He's singing karaoke. He's like loving life, like totally just embracing life by the balls. And Sebastian Stan's looking at him like, I could have done that without changing my face, you know. And there's the push and pull of that sort of like relationship is very interesting. The movie making, the aspect of the movie making stuff was sometimes I liked it, sometimes I didn't. So it would be like a 4-star movie, but they took some interesting risks with the way they did the storytelling and the editing and the kind of overall you know zhuzh of the movie. But I'd still like 3.5 movie, maybe bordering on 4, and I could see some people watching this and thinking this is a 5-star movie.
Nice.
So yeah, I think it's absolutely worth a watch. And that guy Adam Pearson in real life looks exactly like that.
What was the movie called again?
A Different Man.
A Different Man. Okay.
Which is an interesting title once you realize what the actual movie's about. So that's streaming on Max. Very good. I would say recommend. I'm not going to spend much time about it because Joseph already covered it. Kneecap streaming on Netflix. Very
nice.
good. Very good. Way more fun than I was expecting. Way more drugs than I was expecting.
Yep.
You said they did a lot of drugs. Boy, they do a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
Boy, do they. They do all the drugs. And Fassbender's great in this. The 3 guys that make up Kneecap, which are the real life people that make up Kneecap. Moglai Bap, Mochara, and DJ Provi. Those are the 3 guys that make up Kneecap in real life and in the movie. And fuck, are they fun.
Yeah.
They are a fun bunch of guys. So really, really a good time. It's a hard R. Do not go into it expecting a feel-good romp. This is not a family movie, but it is very fun to watch, sit down and go, I just didn't realize the implications of trying to erase the entire Gaelic language, you know, and what that really means. And it's like the concerted efforts that the British government took to completely eradicate it is kind of shocking.
Yeah.
So great story behind it, great historical aspect to it, and the music's fucking good. The drug use is fun and exciting. It's a really good time. So it's Kneecap streaming on Netflix. Next one I watched is streaming on AMC Plus, Mubi, Shudder, and Philo, which I've never heard of that before.
Philo?
Philo.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
Philo. I've never even heard of this before, but it's on Just Watch. So this is called Humanist Vampire Seeking Consenting Suicidal Person.
What a name.
Yes. So think about the title. It is a vampire that does not want to kill, but she must. So instead of finding unwilling participants of a creature of the night and feeding on them at random intervals, she finds people from suicide prevention groups, like focus groups or whatever. And it's like, you want to die.
I want to kill.
I don't want to kill, but I have to. So can I just drink your blood? Basically. It's like a Woody Allen premise.
Yeah, Woody Allen premise.
Like, I guess I could drink your blood. I mean, if you're already going to be, killing yourself.
Come on, let me drink your blood and you get what you want. And
You're going to die anyway.
Yeah.
You're going to die anyway. Yeah.
But the thing that this is a really fun movie. For the context for what it is, it's way more funny.
Is
than
it
I
a
thought
foreign
it was gonna
movie?
Be. Yeah, it's French.
Oh, okay.
French Canadian, but French. It's way more funny than I expected. And the humor comes from the awkwardness of the main actress. Sarah Monpetit is the actress's name. She plays Sasha. And then Felix Antoine Bernard plays Paul. He's a British actor. And he plays her, I want to say love interest, because the relationship goes, there's a great scene in it where she's going to basically drink his blood and he's consenting to it. And she brings him home, and the sisters, or her cousin, she lives with her older cousin. It's like her older sister. And she's like, I'm going to my room with Paul. And she's like, okay, sounds good. And it's like played like it's romantic, like they're going to go have sex or something, because she's 18, 17, something like that.
Yeah.
And then they get to the room, and the awkwardness of the interaction is just like two young people's first time having sex. They're like, he's like, do you want me to take my jacket off? Should I lay down?
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, I mean, whatever you're most comfortable with. And then she like goes to touch him, and it's just like shot and written and scripted exactly like an awkward first sexual encounter.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's so funny.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so there's a lot of great things about this movie, and the music's great, the shot composition's great, it's well acted, it's well written. There's a lot of really cool stuff about it.
Is there any point in the movie where it becomes like kind of horrific because you're dealing? Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of bloody deaths and things.
Well, I'm not talking about like bloody deaths or anything, but like, does it come to a point where like you start like fearing for the victims?
You gotta wait and find out. You gotta watch the movie.
You gotta watch it.
Yeah. So that's Humanist Vampire Seeking Consenting Suicidal Person. Brianna watched it, and I saw it was streaming, and I came home from work and said, hey, we should watch this movie. It's finally streaming. She goes, I just watched it yesterday. 5 stars. Let's watch it again. She loved it. I thought it was still really good, but not quite that good. My number one of the week. Best movie I saw this week. Wild Robot.
Oh, you watched it?
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
God damn it. I've been
finally.
wanting,
I've been waiting for you to watch it.
That movie's streaming? Where is it streaming?
It's on Peacock.
Peacock, yeah.
Oh, god damn it.
It's been
I don't have
streaming.
Peacock.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it has been for a while.
I mean, I knew it had.
I didn't expect to finish this movie completely dehydrated because of lack of tears that are no longer in my body.
Oh no.
Fuck, dude. Like, everybody who is a mother or has a mother should watch this, which is everybody. Whether you have a good relationship or a bad relationship, you should watch this movie. There's at least 4 times that I completely was tears streaming down my face.
Absolutely.
And I hadn't seen this before the Oscars. Obviously, I just watched it this week. The Brutalist won Best Score. This could be in contention. I don't even know if it was nominated or not, but this could be in contention because that fucking score just turns the screws of the emotions.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people hate that, where you're like, okay, don't give me the sappy music, you know.
But that's part of the experience.
It is.
Yeah.
That's good movie making.
Right.
And there's an original song too that's it's fine. This is one of those poppy sort of hip songs.
Oh yeah,
about
like a song made for the movie.
Yeah, original song for the movie, and it's like, that's fine. And I know that was nominated for best song and it lost.
The score though.
The score is just so fucking good.
It's the same composers as How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
Yeah,
and it's a DreamWorks picture.
And it's
so.
a triumphant, emotional
just and it's got a recurring theme. It's got motifs for the character. I mean, it's very good. And I'll give you the basic synopsis. A transport container, shipping container full of these advanced human assistant robots that are basically like the butler maid from the Jetsons. They live in your house.
The iRobot.
They clean your house. They play with your kids. They walk the dog. They do whatever.
Yeah.
And it's traveling and it crashes on this island, and then this water logs this robot onto the edge of this shore, and it basically activates itself, and it's like, I am here to serve. I have a task to do, and whatever type of robot, what's it called? Roz. A Rozbot or whatever always completes its task, but it's among nothing but animals, and the animals fear it, and it speaks English, but they don't. They're animals, and there's a really wonderful way that the movie allows the robot to communicate with the animals, and it happens within the first 5 minutes, so it's not a spoiler.
Yeah,
but it basically is like, I'm going to go into observation mode, and it sits there and it like for days and scans what's happening around it, and it's basically learning the language of the animals, and slowly you hear the animals becoming more coherent to the robot, and then when it wakes up again, it's like, all right, now I speak to all the animals.
Yeah, I already feel like there's a lump in my throat.
Oh, that's not even anything.
Yeah, I know.
Comparatively.
And at one point, it's basically the task of the robot, voiced by Lupita Nyong'o, is to complete whatever task it has. And at one point, the task that it's given is to raise this gosling, raise this goose. And Pedro Pascal plays a fox named Fink.
Pascal's involved?
Pascal's in it, yeah. And he does pretty good.
I wasn't sure if that was him when I first started watching it.
Yeah, about halfway through you can really tell, but he's pretty good, and no one likes the fox because the fox just eats everything, right? And
scavenger.
Yeah, and he's basically kind of whispering in the robot's ear, like, "Oh yeah, maybe you should build us all a house. Oh yeah, maybe you should go get some food for the duck. But maybe me too." So he's like taking advantage of the robot, but also he's like a thief with a heart of gold, you know, just like Zootopia Fox.
Like Robin Hood.
Yeah, maybe. Except for he's not doing it. He's the slouch on the couch who's doing nothing.
Yeah.
He's receiving all the benefits. So the whole point of it is that he needs to raise the robot needs to raise the gosling, and it has no family. So that's his mother. And that relationship of them two is great. Teaching it how to fly and like basically saying goodbye was fucking gut wrenching.
I thought that was the movie. I thought that was the movie.
I was like, right to the point. Boom, took off. Okay, cool. And then there's more.
I excuse my ignorance. This is a animated movie.
Yeah, it's DreamWorks,
Okay.
so it's like How to Train Your Dragon.
Okay.
You know, Shrek.
Because I know this movie, but I've only seen the poster of it. I have not seen any clips. I haven't even read about this movie. I heard good things about it.
It's based off a children's book.
Okay.
And the guy Peter Brown who wrote the children's book is just so happy that everyone's getting the acclaim to this. I'm sure he makes $0 extra because the movie made more money, but the fact that his brainchild of this wild robot made it to film and it became something beautiful is just one of the coolest things. And it's
an
like
incredibly original idea.
Or you could just type some shit into a fucking AI prompt and spit something out, and it's just as good, right?
Yeah.
Fuck. Because that intellectual property that the guy created wholesale from scratch in his brain, wrote it out, had it illustrated, presented it to the world, and someone said, yes, this is good. We're going to make something better out of it or completely different out of it. And they spent all this time and years and millions of dollars and thousands of people working on it to make this movie, which I fucking loved.
Yeah.
And it was directed by Chris Sanders, who did How to Train Your Dragon, Lilo and Stitch, the original one, the animated
Really?
one.
He did that one?
Yeah, the same director, Chris Sanders.
Because Lilo and Stitch is one of my favorite Disney
You got to
movies.
watch the movie. Watch it with your mom and try not to cry.
I'm not going to watch it with my mom.
Watch it with your mom.
I'm not going to watch it with my mom.
Invite Jamie Campos Minor over.
Yeah.
You can boast it on the beanbag.
Yeah. Bag it up with your mom.
No. But I mean, oh my God. I've been wanting to watch this movie, but it hasn't been streaming on any of the streaming services.
Joseph saw it in theaters, and he told me that same day, he's like, man, that's a gorgeous movie. And they're doing the most with the dark shadows and the lights
Yeah.
in that, because it's in the wilderness. So in the nighttime scenes, it's like fire and the glowing robot.
God damn.
I know.
I kind of want to watch it right now.
Wait, say
The theater was like there was not that many people when we watched it because it was like towards the end of its run. But like, yeah, Dean and I were just like, like it was a few times, you know. It's like the big moment of like flying. That whole
says you need a boost.
That whole sequence of just like everything else, like just visually on its own, like put it on mute. It's just visually just one of the most beautiful animated sequences.
It's great
ever. And then you take it off mute, and then you have the music and the dialogue and everything that's being said combined with the music and the themes of like,
yeah, and the
letting go.
And the fox is like, you know, you think he's gonna do good? I think he's gonna do great. And then he looks back and she's not there. She's already taken off to go see one last time. You're like, fucking gutted.
And then another goodbye later in the movie.
Oh, it's so good.
I can't wait.
The first like 10 minutes of the movie, the robot trying to like survive and escape all the animals, like it showed like a lot of themes to kids in such a way that is not violent, of like death and fear.
Does not shy away from death either.
It was like, I was like, damn, this movie's going.
Yeah, multiple characters die in it, and they just tell you, yeah, that's the nature of nature.
Oh man, this movie sounds like a
It's
delight.
phenomenal. This is. I'm not mad that Flo won Best Animated Picture feature because
I heard that one was really good.
It's good. It's great too.
It's a feat,
but it's more of a feat specifically because of the small nature of the production of the movie. But this is like the full force of this animated studio system, firing on all cylinders, in my opinion. And Lupita Nyong'o went wonderful in this. You wouldn't think like, oh yeah, voice acting, you can only do so much as a robot. The character from the beginning to the character at the end are totally polar opposite characters, but you see the transition for the whole time. It's meaningful. It earns the transition, and then the final shot was even more just icing on the cake. So I don't want to say anything more about it than that. It is 100% worth your time, whether you got kids or don't. I have no kids, but I got a mother, and I love her. And it was just the best. It was,
Yeah, you hear that, classmates? Pete likes his
I know,
loves his
how-
mom.
So gay.
I'm gay.
Yeah. So, anyways, go watch Wild Robot. It's streaming on Peacock, and if you don't have Peacock, rent it. It's $6. You can rent it on YouTube for $6, or go down to the Okay, never mind. Blockbuster doesn't exist anymore.
No, I think. I mean, based on the pitch that you just told us, I would rent it for $6.
Yeah, it's worth it. So, all right, that's the streaming picks for the week. Now it's time for the Wheel of Destiny.
1 wheel, 8 slots, 3 hosts. This is
I left it
the
downstairs.
Wheel of Destiny.
All right,
Well-
so we gotta fill some time here while Pete gets the Wheel of Destiny and we discuss the new format change.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting because we don't have specific, well, we do have specific movies, but it's just topics. I know we've talked about it kind of before,
Right,
but
yeah.
we're going to be covering specific genres / topics of movie history or niches, genres.
And Patreon members, we're counting on you to come up with genre.
Yeah, so it's going to be basically 1 month at a time. We're covering one subject, and it could be something as simple as a genre. One of Tyler's picks on the wheel here is essentially just a genre with limitations.
Mm-hmm.
And then, sorry, right downstairs. And we're going to basically do, all three of us will have a featured movie for that topic that we'll do every week for the whole month of.
Yes.
And then the last week of that month will be from the Patreon. So
Yes.
we, on top of that, we're also going to have Patreon members, the cool ass yard duties, choose the subjects. So we have 2 slots here. So I'm going to reveal the wheel, the new wheel.
Reveal the wheel.
Same wheel, just cleaned up, freshened up.
Yeah.
And these
Clean
are
as ever.
And these are the topics. So we're not going to spin this every week. This is going to be basically spun every month.
Correct.
And we'll probably get to the point where we go, let's just say the first topic is mine. Next week, it might be Joseph's. And then it goes back to me, and then it goes back to Joseph. At some point, we may go, okay, the next one's going to be Tyler's.
Yeah.
Because we're now going months in between.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're only spinning the wheel 12 times a year.
Correct. But at the same time, within that, every month, all three of us we can choose our featured movie.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's like, even if we don't land on Tyler's pick of horror movies without not starting with that's one of Tyler's picks. So the whole month we're going to be talking about mainly horror movies. But he wants to preclude ones that are like The Blob.
Yeah.
Or,
The Crow.
Or
the Thing. Yeah. So getting rid of the simple kind of horror movies.
The Halloween.
But if
The
we
Exorcist.
don't land on that, and instead we land on Joseph's, which is spaghetti westerns. Tyler will have a pick. Joseph will have a pick. I'll have a pick. Those will be the featured movies. And then what we're gonna do is we'll be talking about the same genre, micro genre, whatever for 4 episodes. And we will have featured movies for them. But we're also gonna be peppering in more movies from that in our streaming picks.
Correct.
So I'm gonna have, like, for spaghetti westerns, we'll all three have our pick already kind of established.
Yeah,
and then we're going to be doing streaming picks. We'll still do our normal ones, but we might throw some more in there.
Yes.
And those will be able to color the conversation a little bit more. And hopefully we're going to be learning through this month of whatever subject, historical information about spaghetti westerns or whatever.
Right.
How they fit into the normal context, what inspired them before, and what has been inspired by them, that sort of thing. So, anything else you guys want to say on that before I read the topics?
No, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. So, I'll start with Tyler's. It's horror movies, not starting with the. Okay.
So now The Thing.
Yeah, none of that.
No.
So any horror movies that doesn't start with the.
And detective movies, that's another one of his.
Yes.
Okay. So that could be noir movies, could just be modern detective movies.
Anything that involves the main protagonist as being a detective.
Cannot be True Detective.
Yes. Has to be a movie.
That's a TV show, yes.
Joseph's, which you already mentioned, spaghetti westerns. That is going to be a fun one. It's a big blind spot for me.
Yeah, same here.
And then bottom 50 of the IMDb top 250. So 201 to 250.
Yes.
That's Joseph's pick, which is great because they're going to be great movies, but not the ones that are at the top echelon.
It will be a quite interesting selection.
Yeah, and then we'll have us three will pick one. We'll put a call out to the Patreon for that one and just say, hey, my movie's this, Joseph's this, Tyler's is this.
Yeah.
You guys as a group, we want you guys to vote on the 4th episode.
Yes.
What the feature movie is at that point. And then once we know that, we still have 46 other movies to pick from. Yeah. Which could be our streaming picks. And it could be other movies we maybe already have seen and we can have context with.
So exciting.
And then the 2 Patreon slots. And again, we will vote on those. I'll put a message out this week. So this week, for the initial inauguration, it won't be a Patreon. If it lands on a Patreon, we'll spin it again. But these are going to be cool ass yard duties only. We're going to decide this. Our top 5 supporters: Javier, Heather, Michael, Steven, and Chris. We hear them at the end of every episode.
You can submit it right now, Michael.
Yeah, that's right. And then we have pre-code movies, which is one of mine. And the Hays Code was an early Hollywood institution, which basically limited what could be on screen. These are movies before that. So stuff that you might see, you think, oh, a movie from 1945 that has 2 lesbians in the lead. That seems unusual. Well, pre-code, it wasn't. When the Hays Code instituted, then you couldn't have that on screen.
Yeah.
So that'll be an interesting one because that's a big blind spot for me. And then movies with chase scenes, prominent chase scenes.
Car chase?
Car chasing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll leave it up to you. If you think it should be something else, I'm going to say car chase. But if you think it's something else warrants it, like there was a segment on the trivia mini series that we did on the show, and it was non-car chase scenes. There was a motorcycle and a horse in True Lies. That's a great one.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so
A motorcycle
What?
is a car.
Not a car. Not a car.
It's
an automobile.
It's a 2-wheeled motorized vehicle.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a car, though. So I would say probably we should stick that to cars.
Yeah.
But if during the course of research, I'm sure that's something that's going to be come up.
Yeah.
At what point did the car chase become more proper than like the foot chase? And what's different about the car chase than the foot chase? And blah 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 blah.
Right.
So there'll be more kind of fun history and kind of context that are going to sprout up during the conversation. We'll be talking about specific movies, but also the overarching subject as a whole throughout the month.
Yeah.
And if you guys know something, classmates, people listening, new and old, if we say something wrong,
chime in.
Write in, tell us.
We're trying to lean into the class part of this.
Yeah, exactly.
The name of the show.
And we're not the teachers. We're students as well.
Yeah, we're the students in the back of the classroom talking shit about movies.
Think of us giving us book reports, but movie reports.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Love it.
So like last week I said that Glenn Ross was written by David Mamet. And I said he also wrote West Wing. That was wrong. It was Aaron Sorkin.
That's right.
I thought it was wrong.
Aaron
I
Sorkin.
thought it was wrong.
Wrote what?
West Wing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, West Wing.
I thought I was wrong when I left my lips, but I said I'm not going to stop and fact check. I'll do it later.
Yeah.
But if somebody else were to, actually, I would be very happy to accept that criticism.
Damn it.
If we're talking about horror movies that don't have the word "the" in it, it's just to pare it down a little bit. But if you're talking about horror movies and you guys have something you want to share with us for historical context, write in.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more focused, so it's kind of hopefully drives the conversation a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. We can be
Or we could crash and burn.
We could be a bona fide movie review podcast.
Yeah, as of now we're just a fucking joke.
See, now we're a podcast.
Now we're really.
Now this is podcasting.
I'm trying to see if there's anything in the chat. Oh yeah, chase scenes, Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, so let's spin the wheel. This
All right.
is what we're going to be covering for the month of April.
The wheel.
Hi, birthday month.
That's right. You're not 23, by the way.
33.
33.
You're not 23 anymore. Stop living in the past, man.
Just a reminder, if it lands on the Patreon, we're going to respin. And we need time to get the Patreon pick set.
What is it? I can't see.
It's spaghetti western.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Joseph's popping the cherry on the new format.
I really was hoping it would land on that too, because that, like you said, Pete, that's a blind spot for me as well. I don't really watch westerns as much.
So this is perfect, more explanation, and this will become rote after a couple months worth of it, but bears explanation now. This is Joseph's pick. So he's going to lead us off. He has a movie already in his back pocket for the movie that he wants us to talk about as our feature movie next week. Yes. It'll be a spaghetti western.
Yes.
We're all going to pick our own movies too, so that we're kind of ready. And the next time the topic lands on it, we'll already have the whole wheel kind of filled out with additional movies. Yeah. But for now, it's just Joseph. So what are we watching next week?
Well, we're going to go with the classic, the Clint Eastwood classic, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
All right. Perfect. I was hoping you'd say that.
I have not seen this movie in a long, long time.
Yeah, there's quite a bit, obviously, with Clint Eastwood and Sergio Leone. It's for a few dollars more, a fistful of dollars, the big
fistful of dollars,
the big gun down, the original Django. But
wait, there's an original one?
Yeah, Django is it's like a established.
I had no idea.
Property. Yeah.
See, we're already hitting it off.
We're learning.
We're already hitting the ground running.
But yeah, there's a whole. You could just look up classic spaghetti western movies, get some inspiration from there. There's a movie called Duck You Sucker, directed by Sergio Leone, which is kind of a funny name.
Nice.
But yeah, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's classic, and I do enjoy westerns. I have not watched old ones though, and specifically spaghetti westerns.
One of the things I'm going to look forward to is
the spaghetti.
Yeah.
The spaghetti.
We got to eat the spaghetti.
I'm going to eat spaghetti while I watch it too.
One of the things I'm looking forward to is the comparison between Kurosawa movies and the spaghetti westerns, because famously, this entire series, the Dollar series, with Sergio Leone and Clint Eastwood, pulled a lot from Yojimbo and a few other like Kurosawa movies.
Yeah, I was gonna say Kurosawa had a big influence.
Seven Samurai, I think.
Yeah,
the Magnificent Seven is like for the Western version of.
So I'm looking forward to that because I want to see what the influences that made the spaghetti westerns what they are and as well, like what since then, what have they evolved into?
Yeah, that'll be very interesting to see because I knew Kurosawa had like a really big influence on the modern westerns that we know today.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. No doubt. I mean, I don't think it can be ignored, but I guess we'll dig into that as the month of April goes on.
Yes.
So our homework, you and I, Tyler, is that we need to pick our own spaghetti western movies, and then we'll announce it just on the Facebook page or something.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go home as soon as we're done and look up some.
Cool.
I'm gonna go home right now.
Yeah, right now. Okay, see you later, guys.
All right. Anything else you guys want to say?
No.
No.
Okay. So, thank you to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon, and Javier, Heather, Michael, Steven, and Chris. Expect an email from me so I can get your guys' input, and it's basically going to be a group project. The 5 of you guys need to come up with 2 topics that are going to go on the wheel, and then once
2 topics out of all 5 of them, right?
Yeah, just as you just all put your heads together and just say, hey, this is what we got. What do you guys want to do? Here's some ideas. Oh, I like that idea. I don't like that idea. Whatever. And it'll be a vote system, and for the most part. Or you can just throw out a shit ton of ideas and you can let us pick 2 of them, whatever you like. But we know you guys support us, so we want to support you. And we want your guys' fingerprints on this show. So we will send that email out. And I'm also going to be sending you guys a list of the Blu-ray stack that we're going to be giving away to you guys. Yes. You guys take your pick. I'll mail them to you. So if you want to support us on Patreon, just like those cool ass yard duties do, hit us up on patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass or just go to the YouTube channel and watch there. It's the best way to support for free, and you can share with your friends, share with your family, anybody that likes, fun conversation, movies, or just 3 assholes sitting in a room, talking shit.
Yeah,
that is a genre in itself. Until next time, thank you for joining us as we unwrap the new format of the show, and we review nothing. But next week we will be watching. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, the classic spaghetti western.
Yes.
Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and please follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class.
And on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class. And on Twitter at Podcast MCFC.
All right. Thanks again for supporting, and feel free, write in. We like to hear listener emails and comments and messages and stuff. It means a lot. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.